Alrighty, Sunday evening, and we're just about ready to get started with the weekly bounty hunters here. Tonight, our roster is going to consist of 7 show matches across various different skill levels, and indeed, we're always open for just about everyone to participate, regardless of your skill level, be it rookie, intermediate, advanced, or godlike player. Skill-based matchmaking always applies. The name of the game tonight is Guilty Gear Strive, and the format is first to 7 wins. Now, I'm your usual host, QK. Let's see what is in store for tonight real quick before we get started. So tonight we're starting with a Testament mirror, moving to super high level match after that. Got Guessing and Hoplan in the second matchup slot. First time that these players meet, I'm actually surprised. I think Hoplan is finally ready to perhaps slay gods. Followed by some rare character matchups. We got Bunnix, BlackRaven there, Milia matchup. Followed by another Biken. What would a Bounty Hunters event be without a lot of Biken matches? That character is extremely popular. Then jumping into another slightly rare, we got Zato versus Happy Chaos. 2 Happy Chaos matches back to back. And then finishing the event with good old, whatchamacallit, a Lariat character versus neutral character in the form of Slayer Kai. And then at the end of the evening, Sin Chip. I think the only newcomer today is gonna be Zormar, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Let me make sure. We've seen. Yeah. We've seen the rest of the participants before. It's a pretty balanced card, back and forth. I guess at this point it would probably be good to mention that for next week, I think Bounty Hunters is probably gonna be on a 1-week break, because I personally want to attend reinstall, one of the sort of persistent offline events in Finland. So we're gonna hop, or rather, we're gonna have one week of hiatus and then return back to action on, is it last of November? That would be. Yeah, I think that's probably gonna be what we're gonna be doing here. But now, let's circle back to the number 1 card here. Testament Mirror. I think there was supposed to be a little bit of whatchamacallit, player card message synchronization, but unfortunately some of the stuff got lost in the mail. Either way, Testament versus Testament, actually one of my favorite mirror matches, and let me explain why in a second. I'll get this party going first, get the TO stuff out of the way. Call the players in the lobby, then we can talk a little bit of smack. Okay, that out of the way. So Testament versus Testament. I think this matchup is super interesting because it kind of forces Testament player, or either the Testament as a character, slightly out of your, not really out of your comfort zone, but because of especially Arbiter Sign, which can check the other Testament player full screen. It creates this incentive to perhaps do things other than you would usually do as a Testament player in many other matches. So like throwing, for example, S-Reaper, which is usually what you kind of want to get your game plan started with, suddenly is a little bit scary when there's always an opportunity or a threat that the opponent Testament goes for a full screen Arbiter Sign to check it. which can sort of alter the usual momentum of the match. Can even make it sort of desirable to dash in forward and try to attack the opponent as they're trying to catch you with the Arbiter sign. But in we go. So we got Lux in the orange color, which I should probably put in the name. And then we got Lunar in the denim. Or blue? Can I fit that in the description, maybe? There we go. Okay. Got the curse on. Curse always the probably the best starting point. If you can get your opponent cursed, then you have basically a free Roman cancel queued up if you manage to hit the opponent. Speaking of hitting the opponent, Lux dangerous position here, close to the corner. If there's oh my god, tried to go for a little bit of a launch there using the FRC. Lunar was completely ready with that. Chip damage is going to be an issue. That's exactly what we were talking about. The dash forward from Lunar was able to basically bypass the S Arbiter sign there. And usually when that happens, you kind of want to go in and try to take your turn in the close range, because your opponent is going to be on recovery for a very long time. Sending an empty crow into successful Grave Reaper. Able to stick with the curse here, which will be expiring, unfortunately, between the stage shift. Nice instant air dash. However, the airstream doesn't quite connect. Lunar does get out of there. 6 heavy. Pop the curse into an overhead. Oh, baiting a throw there. There's usually gonna be an option to sort of do the downwards heavy Reaper there to force the curse, but that time Lunar actually went for a little bit of a shimmy off ways. With the anti-air once again, forcing the last burst out of Lux. There's not gonna be any of that for either of the opponents or either of the players, at least this round. Going one apiece. From an even situation, still burst very low, so we're just gonna do it raw here. Good 2S there on the dash forward. Got the curse as well, but again, the Arbiter sign. The Arbiter sign can just sort of not only catch the opponent, but can instantly abort their momentum, as if you get hit on Testament, the curse on you is going to be nullified immediately. And that's exactly what Lunar is going to do here. Sends the neutral crow, 6 heavy, catches the jump out into a crow. Now this is a good Oki situation. The air backdash with a little bit of an overhead option here. With no response until the FRC, the bullet actually doesn't come out here. And the nice advance here from Lux. The aggressive dash forward. Able to attack Lunar before the Arbiter sign actually comes online. Arbiter low, Arbiter high. Usually this doesn't happen in such a quick succession, but especially at the end of the round when you're looking for that one last hit. You could feasibly go for like a high Arbiter into low Arbiter, or low Arbiter and high Arbiter, and there's a little bit of variation if you want to let those rock, if you want to actually land those as a hit. You can produce like really fast full screen low into high or high into low. But theoretically, the high Arbiter is always going to be reactable if the opponent is not trying to flail around and is just looking for it. Ooh, nice teleport to the close range, and here we go with the Charged Reaper, guaranteeing a curse here. Gets the 6p. Unfortunately, that instantly sticks the opponent to the wall. There was potentially like a little bit of combo potential still to be had. The slowdown frames able to prevent Lunar from pressing any buttons here. And caught them with the curse hit. Starting with a very safe button here. 2S, one of the like best reach to hitbox to startup ratio. If you actually want to press something at round start as Testament. Of course, very vulnerable to your opponent walking back, as many of the buttons of its kind. Getting a reversal here. Lunar pushing out of the corner. A little bit of real estate to work with here, but back still against the corner. And in this corner position, this cursed corner position, this is where you exactly want to be as Testament. Oh, the jump key! Actually tagging here. Was there a hitbox? There was a very, very gnarly air to ground there. Jump K for Testament is a very strange kind of button. It kind of primarily reaches backwards, allowing you to get like a little bit of a, whatchamacallit, like an eerie taco kick kind of an option from King of Fighters, if you're familiar with that move. Jump over, however, the 2P from Lux was ready to go. Ooh, got a little bit too close, and now situation reversed. Burst is what we have to use to get out of the corner for at least safely. Ooh, nice routing there. Ending with the curse. There's a lot of back and forth with the new way the Crow works and how the curse works. You actually have opportunities to go for a little bit more of that left-right on your Oki, especially if you cut your combo short, which is usually like preferable, I suppose, because you're not gonna be doing that much damage as Testament anyway, unless you manage to land like one of your better starters. Able to rush through the Arbiter sign initially. Oh, what a big counter hit! Let's see the combo. Yeah, these are the hits that you're probably gonna bring in the bread home with. Now with the positive bonus, you can definitely waste some meter for that safety RC. The low Arbiter actually connects faster for Lunar here into a deep dash 6P, starting to fight heavy, and a nice buffer there into Orange Wild Assault as well. Taking the left right. No cancel here. I think especially when the opponent has 50 meter ready to go. Speaking of the 50 meter, it's a slow reversal. That's one of its only weaknesses. Good range, but also slow. Allowing Lux to get the wall break. The Arbiter side should actually track. It has some limitations per how fast it can actually track the opponent moving forward. Lux is really loaded here, and with the live advantage for now, situation evens. Can we actually get to use that meter? Good anti-air once again. Lunar has been completely on point and able to build 50 of her own. That 100 tension from Lux, nowhere to be used, unfortunately. That was basically lingering there in the tension bar of Lux for like, I don't know, a good 20 seconds or so, just looking for an opportunity to spend. But it's not I think it's not like the easiest thing for Testament to spend at full screen. You could do stuff like Arbiter sign into FRC, Arbiter sign, but like there's only so much you can do with that. Now with the super conversion, we should be getting a wall break as well as the curse here. The stage shift. Ooh, fakes the safe jump. That's a very common kind of trick. Good burst timing. The downside here. Ooh, nice dash as well. Able to outsmart the tracking of the Arbiter sign. But even if it's the low Arbiter sign that is kind of faster than the overhead, it's still with Testament's movement speed kind of easy to outmaneuver as long as you're already dashing forward. Speaking of dashing forward into that nifty little dash jump, to get a little bit of a different angle here. Ooh, nice catch! That's another really good starter. The heavy fireball that aims itself upwards. Depending on your spacing, contrast to your opponent, you can get some really nice numbers, especially if you manage to put them in the corner. We go with the champion again. Getting a wall stick with that curse and converting it to higher hitting super, or harder hitting super, should we say. Drifting forward, the Arbiter side actually didn't come out, so Lunar wasn't forced to block there. Well, it's colliding, the footsies there! Too heavy to catch the two heavies lingering hurt box, but the deed is not done yet, teleporting behind. Nothing personal, kid. Lux evens at 2-2. Really fast-paced Testament play here. I love this. It's sometimes a little hard to sort of keep track of what is going on, since a lot of the bullets tend to be like very similar looking. And I think, are they same color as well? Yeah. With the gray skulls flying around. This time, good anti-air for Lux. Always good to be ready for that. You definitely know your own character and your character's vulnerability to instant air dashes. The oldest weakness in fighting. Nice! Send the neutral crow there, the micro dash 2K going under and checking. There are a lot of these like fireball into fireball situations where you can actually advance on Testament. Such as like, you take an S Grave Reaper close range, and if the opponent tries to throw Crow afterwards, it was good from both players, dashing through the S Reaper, sorry, the S Arbiter sign again, but still got caught there, checked by Lunar. Right, the last hit, pops the wall, positive bonus, It's actually a fairly nice advantage here with the life and all the resources coming in. You kind of have to burst sooner rather than later. Lunar does commit to a couple of bursts. There it is. Now it's out of the way. Nice check here. The heavy Grave Reaper, the up Grave Reaper, trying to predict that Lunar maybe wanted to air dash in. But if you do whiff that heavy Grave Reaper, that upwards fireball, it kind of opens you up to getting advanced on or just straight up whiff punished. And especially characters who have long range buttons can whiff punish that. Counter hit. Ooh, another counter hit. We can do some good stuff here with the fully charged heavy Reaper. Switch sides, get the wall with the, I guess the better setup super, because this super applies Stain. Usually the preferred way, unless Calamity 1 can actually finish them off. Nice backdash on the 6 heavy. No curse for Lunar this time around. Arbiter sign catches. Ooh, the deep dash forward into a Wild Assault. That is probably burst worthy. That would have been the wall, potentially the round as well with either one of the supers. Started with a 2S, slightly faster, I think, than the 5 heavy. 5 heavy does have really good hurt box ratio, but it's a little bit slower on the startup side. Resetting into Shenanigans, sending the neutral crow again. The reason you see both these Testament players sending the neutral crow instead of homing into the marker is they're predicting that their opponent wants to jump out from a spacing where you can't jail them into taking the curse. And there we go, Lux. Still on the tail. Not letting Lunar run away with that lead. 3-3. Yeah, once again, good. Recognizing that the 6 heavy, very slow on recovery, so dashes in for your turn. Nice burn on the Wild Assault. From a range like that, where you still haven't applied Stain and you don't have any like resources on the board, oh, that thought we get a big counter hit. Too heavy, should be able to finish here. Calamity 1, good choice. Yeah, once in a while you do get to deal that big damage as Testament as well. And once again, no Stain on, so it's a good idea to use that Wild Assault to convert your very first combo if it comes from a far-ranging hit such as Far Slash. Far Slash is really good for Testament, but definitely lacks that whatchamacallit, the rewards, as you saw there as Lunar managed to land it. Right, set up time. We got the safe jump because the opponent is loaded with that Calamity 1. The late air dash, or not so late air dash, very high air dash for an overhead in the corner. Favoring the set play here. 2 is actually catching the backdash. But now 100 from Lux. What are we gonna do with that? Making sure the conversion happens. However, it's a little bit of a... It ends up being okay in the end. Missing some potential damage from the previous conversion. It's all fine as long as you keep going and don't panic and drop your combo. Yo, was that a raw orange Wild Assault from the round start position? It's kind of like it can reach your opponent if they backdash, especially if you charge your Wild Assault. Switching positions here. The Succubus marker not quite deep enough to get the curse here. Teleport in place. And missing with the close slash. It's okay, both players fumbling a little. Important real estate here. Lunar wanting to keep Lux in the corner. Good block on the overhead. The far slash is such a good button. And the counter hit, guaranteeing Lux a little bit of extra rewards compared to the normal one that you would usually not get much more than maybe far slash into S-Reaper. Dangerous ground air position, plus frames from the heavy Reaper. There's an instant air dash. And here we go again. Yeah, there's very little that you can do in that sequence if your opponent managed to go like instant air dash, jump, jump heavy, jump D into downwards air Reaper. There's really like no gaps in between there. And then you can get curse for free as well. Coming in from above, using possession here for the fancy plays. Ooh, got clipped by both players actually stayed at the same time. Lunar deeming that they don't want to deal with the stay and pop blast frames. Makes sense, the life is running out here. Any hit would be it. There we go. Instant air dash jump heavy. I think this time chose to forego the jump D and the fireball, and instead going straight into a low, subverting the opponent's expectations. Oh, I saw a startup of 6p, but it was too late there that time. Another great instant air dash. In to take this succubus marker, able to jump out, that was big. And then the 2k duty, draining the burst out of blocks, who is trying to keep the opponent in the corner. However, Lunar breaks free with great rewards. This is, oh, something going wrong there between the conversions. There are some considerations for like some problems with Testament's sort of longest range combo spacing, where in situations like these the Nostrovia can uncombo, but not this time. Not this time. This is a standard enough of the situation. Ooh, again, Lunar trying to attempt the 6p, but a little too late. Testament does have really deep reaching jumping buttons, namely that jump heavy. Most go-to button you generally try to instant air dash or jump in with, or start your sequences with. Speaking of the devil, hitting so fast from a really nice angle, so deep as well. Really hard to challenge unless you're just reacting to the opponent jumping. Burst here from Lunar. Couple of arbiters. These can start to snowball. The damage alone is not that much, but when you're ooh, nice possession there. Making the opponents, what was that, 5k width? But Locke's working with a potentially killing combo here. Here comes the safe jump. Not a whole lot you can do here. The delay too heavy. Still not finding the hit. The low arbiter side is what catches the backwalk here. The threat of the succubus marker in your face, prompting Lunar to walk back. But that walk back does sort of expose you to the full screen low here. Good anti-air, that's gonna pop, and leaving the opponent in the corner with the succubus marker teleporting behind. And converting off the throw, I like this. Here's a little bit of a left-right. Ooh, shimmy from this side. Ooh, teleport, that's a really nice teleport. However, wasn't quite able to capitalize on it. Got all of that real estate, but oh, interesting look. Locks. Oh no, that must have been a misinput there. Ended up getting crossed up and getting the arbiter sign. Probably tried to go for just a fireball. Oh, that was an opportunity for Lux to punish. Neutral Crow again, opponent does not jump. And the curse opportunity has been nullified. Interesting great jump setup. Deflect Chill does buy a little bit of real estate for Lunar here. Through the wall. This is set point position for Lux. Lux, after the first 3 games, has been absolutely on fire. We need to make something happen here. The glow slash jump. Was that maybe a burst bait? Unsure, but the combo does drop in the end. Position to delay the momentum in the air, but Lux does not bite. Actually waits for Lunar to fall from that position into her inevitable death. There is quite a bit of consequence using that tool. It is a really flashy tool, it is a very fun tool, and it is a very lucrative tool as well. Especially if you manage to RP as your way out of the corner with the succubus marker already behind the opponent. But when you do it in place like this, you are sort of gonna put yourself in a precarious position then in the follow-up situation as you are falling down, especially if you're this high up in the air. And Lux did notice that. Wow, that was a lot of momentum. After that 3-3, Lux just found something. and was able to control the rounds all the way till the end. Now, next one is gonna be perhaps the certified banger of the evening. We got guessing, working again with the tournament schedule. There are events other than bounty hunters to be attended to, so we're gonna go play this nice and early, so that our heavy hitters have an opportunity to participate in more coming later this evening. So guessing one of our highest ranked Gold Lewis players on Bounty Hunters is gonna face off against the young hope of Finland, Hoplan, the Nagoriyuki player who has definitely shot to somewhat of a national fame. Also attempting to probably attempting to place as high as possible in the upcoming install tournament next week. It's gonna be super interesting to see how that's going to turn out, especially since like a couple of the higher the usual suspects, the higher placing Finnish players are actually opting out of the tournament this time around. We have a couple of players who are simply signing up for other tournaments such as 2XKO and then leaving maybe the stage open for players who don't necessarily place, or rather haven't placed well in the past, giving them opportunity to potentially make their first top 8 appearances or even better. Of course, Hoplan does have those top 8 appearances, quite a few already in Finnish offline events. But yeah, guessing is a really tough nut to crack though. This would probably be the highest ranked, highest skill level opponent that Hoplan has to face on Bounty Hunter so far. 2 extremely destructive characters, getting your game plan going, getting one touch on the opponent, perhaps even getting your corner pressure going rather early than later. Super important. At a relatively high blood situation here, utilizing that extra range that you do get for especially your heavy buttons. However, side switch here, guessing in his element, finding a counter, that's surely gonna be an early nail in the coffin. Goat was definitely known for some of the best touch of death capabilities in Guilty Gear's tribe. Especially when you get those like super good starters like Close Slash or some of the Behemoth Typhoons are pretty decent starters as well. And now, ooh, with the security cancel, one of the newer features to these characters can make some of your pressure strings where your turn usually would be over. You can still attempt to catch the opponent by going security cancel into one of your other Behemoth Typhoons. And now Hoplan striking back with the level 3 blood. Guessing though with a lot of meter, and you bet your ass one Behemoth Typhoon is gonna lead into drift forward and more pressure. Simply blocking that guard crushing menace that is Behemoth Typhoon is like, that alone is a tough nut. But when Gold Lewis has like a lot of meter to extend your pressure, you're in a really tough spot, and it's really hard to get out of those pressure situations. Now minus frames from Wild Assault, missing the throw. However, Hopper was ready to OS that just in the nick of time. Another blood burner puts Hoplan well into the level 3 territory. There is a lot of blood coming back from those strikes though. Finally finding the Close Slash, and that's gonna be a wrap with a quick 1-2-3 Samurai Showdown combo. Ooh, finding a hit, and we're gonna go into a... Oh, nice! That was a cool routing there. Spending almost max amount of blood, trying to convert on the opponent. However, guessing with smart presence of mind here, notice that Hoplan did go for a really blood-heavy combo and bursting after that. I think one of the starting points for many characters in Nago matchups is to first put Nago at high blood. Oh, that was a nice read there! The dash jump forward, straight into the recovery frames of Hoplan. Big damage as well from that. YRC putting an end to that drone-assisted offense. And now, guessing we'll have to wager their options. Try to go for a little sneaky... spending all the security gauge here. All 3 cancels, able to get enough damage from that single hit. That was pretty cool. Of course, usually you're gonna see the security gauge spend a little bit more sort of economically, but when you have the kill, you have the kill. Hoplan still tightly in this pressure position. Guessing, finding a 2P, and a way out of the corner, reversal. This should be good. Yeah, there's nothing that Guessing can do to abort this, and this will help Hoplan's blood situation quite a bit. Level 2, and gonna be going down that blood pressure with the Karana. Quite enough damage here, and now the dangerous reality dawning on Hoplan, going through the security drone with a wild assault. That's a big RPS. I mean, that's definitely an expensive move, but probably a move that you will always make. And the chip damage is gonna be enough here, putting Hoplan on board as well. Big impactful plays back and forth.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
I guess, like, if you sort of consider your options, would you be willing to use a security drone just to get a couple of plus frames if the opponent decides to go through it with White Wild Assault? The RC keeping the pressure alive. This will lead into a little bit of extra blood leech. But the jump is straight into the drone, and that's of course gonna lead into the side switch behemoth. Now Hoplan in the back foot in the corner. Very important far slash to find there. Low slash vacuums, Guessing back onto the ground, and a frame trap here. You're definitely dead, right? Into 6 heavy and another 6 heavy.
Duel 2. Let's rock.
Starting with the wild assault and finding a hit as well. That's gonna guarantee sort of pseudo corner pressure for Guessing. However, ooh, wait. The Guessing back throw out of the far slash sequence? Wait, is that a thing? That's kind of what it looked like. Hoplan going for the back throw of his own. We got the max. Ooh, would this be fast enough to block? Yes, indeed. The far slash gets the punish, but doesn't quite convert, doesn't quite reach with the Beyblade. Or I mean, does, but not in a way that Hoplan was planning. And successful here will actually give Hoplan a leading position here on the 3rd match. Wow. Yeah, it only takes like a couple of frames to sleep on a particular RPS situation, and it can be immediately over one way or another. And especially because Nago's defense modifier depends on your blood level. In a situation like where Hoplan is now in terms of the blood, if you would get hit here, it's so much damage that you have to take. The heavy strikes are going to be draining blood back just a little bit at a time. Good backdash, managed to make the Behemoth Typhoon whiff, and here comes the drone-assisted offense. Oh, but a great reversal here. Even despite all that tension that you had in your gauge, if you let it rock, post-flash is already gonna be too late to do anything about that super fast reversal of Nagoriyuki's. Good read here on round start, the jump forward as Hoplan was going for a 2S. I think the 2S might be able to recover in time to block, but certainly not fast enough to 6P anymore, I think. Because of how the jump arc of Gold Luis works. A reversal from Guessing. Hoplan was blocking though. Oh, cornering himself with the super jump forward. Both players having to use their burst in this exact same position. The OS smartly, the opponent has been jumping out of those command grabs, so might as well be option selecting here. Potential mutual chip damage position. Oh no, Hoplan has quite a lot of tension still to spend here for FD, but you don't really go willingly into those kind of situations. So Hoplan was trying to make something happen here before forced into a sort of a guaranteed chip position. That tension goes down very, very fast if you're just, you know, holding onto that FD and doing nothing else. Ooh, finding a hit with the RC. That could be a kill, right? Yep, we're going into the blood burner. Even if that would have been a pop, doesn't matter. If you have the reach, go for the kill. Go wild, berserk if you will. But never miss a kill. That's a really important sort of feature that especially Nagoriyuki players will find a lot of value for. Ooh, too close. Or maybe too slow. The media timing not quite there. Level 3 once again. Edging at the very tip of that blood bar. Oh, and a little stutter step backwards, exposing the throw attempt here from guessing. Shimmy is always a shimmy, even if your character moves relatively slowly. One pixel, one backstep pixel backwards can make the opponent throw whiff. Oh, but the airborne here. Is that still? Yeah, that's still a punish. I think whether you get a punish here kind of depends on the height, right? So if you take that blood pop really high up in the air, it's still gonna pop you up relatively high arc. But in that situation where you were kind of aligned with Nagoriyuki, guessing we're still able to get the punish. The DP to ground the opponent. Go Lewis. Got them catching buttons. Again, the jump out. This time the options are like a little too slow, and the falling jump gay does manage to initially get guessing out of the situation. Oh, and that too heavy. That blood rage too heavy with a lot of damage behind a single hit. Hoplan somehow, or I shouldn't even say somehow, just has been able to take the momentum. I mean, this fell at place. This fell at place a lot, and it's come a long way. Now looking to potentially destroy one of our senior players. It's a lot of blood spent. That's gonna be a pop, right? Does guessing notice? Guessing notices. Not even taking that on block. It's gonna be a simple dash forward close slash. Now, full blood gauge is available and 100 meter as well, so this could be making of a comeback here. Hoplan has all the necessary ingredients. Now we just need to put them in the pot in the right order. The aura looks good so far. The burst is coming back for guessing very soon. And Hoplan does beat it! I feel like went for the first bait a little too early. And guessing still didn't have the burst ready to go, but then following up with another really good one. Making sure that there is no shenanigans, no drop pressure, no drop combo bait, just RC backwards and take it. Alright, able to hold FD and push guessing far enough away from that pressure, but now working with the corner. Oh, that's gonna hurt a lot. And the last behemoth is gonna be enough as well. And that's decisive hammering on high level blood. Started with the blood burn, far slash, catching the opponent airborne. What a button. Well, most of Nagoriyuki's buttons are fairly high profile, one of the BMP pokes, so they do enjoy the whatchamacallit, the extra privilege of sometimes being able to casually anti-air the opponent, especially like angles such as Gotlewis plays on you. That was a great differential. That's gonna be it, right? 6 heavy is gonna do enough damage. Massive hit. 5-1. After the first game, that was just a warm-up. After that, it's been mostly all Hoplan. I mean, guessing has had some good rounds, but for the most part, it's generally Hoplan starting the round. Like it. Wait, what? Huh? What was that? Was that a perfect timing on the Beyblade to whip punish? That looked kind of gnarly. Ah, and a nice conversion from that side switch. You're usually with like maneuvers like that, you are praying that you actually find a mark when you're cornering yourself for the sake of a cross up. That time it did end up paying off for guessing. Decent amount of blood here. Still at least one special worth of. And the option select again does end up missing because of the timing, I believe, this time. Switch sides, now guessing in a really nice position. Hoplan still a little far off from the burst. It's gonna come back soon, but there it is. 100 meters to contend with. No high-level security drone yet. Would this be enough? With the DP, we're burning. Yes, it is. Evening the rounds. This is gonna be super important for both players. Guessing absolutely needs this, lest they want to get just trampled by the momentum of the Finnish prodigy. The new wave Nagoriyuki. Oh no! Queued up 2B. It collides with the blood burst. Dangerous whip. However, Hoplan sees the mask on animation. +0 after flash. You can queue up your super if you see your opponent reaching for the cookie jar and have the reversal. It's kind of a done deal there. And there's no mercy from Hoplan. Oh my goodness. It like you absolutely can't fuck with the blood burst. You gotta make sure that if you engage while the opponent is in blood rage, it has to find its mark. And in the sort of post pop situation when the mask is going on, you have to make sure that you're not doing anything punishable during that freeze frame, because it's kind of like a small RC there in a way, where Nagoriyuki gets to stop time and then choose his option next. Kind of like a saving grace, because it's really punishing the blood pop, so giving you a little bit of extra value there after the blood rage expires. And Hoplan going full throttle once again. Doesn't even care after guessing having that very dominant round there before. The shimmy once again. Finds the blood-sucking universe this time. Tap the 5D. Is that gonna be enough? Rather prorated here, so I would wager that this isn't gonna kill goal, Luis, right? It's gonna be super close though. Will it or won't it? It will! Of course it will! Because it's Nagoriyuki super, one of the harder hitting ones in the game. Good check there on the forward, Fukyo. We got the counterplay. And all of that counterplay has to come in motion now, rather sooner than later. This is set point position for Hoplan, 6-1. A very safe approach here. Hoplan does get a good deflect shield, and then the returning burst. Let me have this corner. Let me have this moment of mauling. The security drone nullified by YRC. Hoplan bursting out of the corner, spending blood, getting real estate. We're back to the mid-screen position. A lot of things can happen here. Basically a neutral situation. What? Would you press that too heavy? Would you? I think Hoplan realized that was a low-level drone, right? That wasn't the level 3 drone, so you could feasibly attempt to fish there with the 2S, the disjoint frames, and the fast recovery on high blood. Oh my goodness. How dare you? I would never press in that situation, but Hoplan, a calculated risk, and the drone just expires midway. Holy shit. Yeah, that's sort of the trade-off that you're making is like, if you have full security, yes, the drone is absolutely great and has to be respected, usually netting you like full screen sort of corner push, because like a lot of players just don't want to challenge that. But then of course you can try to unleash it with a limited amount of time depending on like how much security you have left. Holy moly. Who is this Hoplan guy, and is he gonna win reinstall next? What is it? When's the top 5 of reinstall? Is it Sunday or is it Saturday? I'm not quite sure. It's Sunday, right? Yeah. Because it's 2-day event, Saturday, Sunday, and the main card game should be resolved on Sunday. Wow. Okay. Yeah, this guy is definitely in shape. Now, next up, maybe dialing back to tempo, or will we? Or would we? Too fast back-to-back games into Milia versus Biken matchup. This is also 2 back-to-back Biken games coming up, right? Yeah. First it's Bunnix versus Raven, and then Longingly versus Jayce. So entering our mini Biken section here. Two characters that are surprisingly similar, not necessarily in the game plan department, but kind of like what you would love to do to your opponent in best case scenario. 2 different kinds of set play characters. Milia just wants a good high frame advantage knockdown to set the heavy disc. The most classic anime fighting game, set it and forget it kind of set play Oki situation that this character enjoys. Whereas Biken can work with all sorts of different KDs. Of course, I guess the best one would be getting a throw into attached Kabari, or rather attached tether into some really gnarly mix-ups. Milia perhaps a little bit more neutral oriented, whereas Biken not really known for the good neutral, rather enjoys being close and personal, be for just the mix-ups, the TK Yozens, the instant overheads, or just, you know, high damage potential from your pressure.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society. So instead of reflecting on themselves,
and the high damage is another sort of dividing factor here between these 2 characters. Milia can do damage, but usually not known for her damage. And there are a lot of situations where even if you do get like a decently good hit, you don't necessarily want to squeeze the max damage out of her combo and instead favor the Okizeme that she's mostly known for. All right, but straight into the knockdown. And we're going for a cross-up Yozan on the descending jump angle. Oh, stealing the corner. However, the conversion doesn't quite happen here as Bunnix intended. Good 6P still catches on the... It kind of looked like Milia was already crossing up, but Biken 6P working wonders. I know Raven has been working with that anti-air game, with that 6P, which is sometimes like the Achilles heel, or sort of the bane of Biken players' existence. Even though you have a fairly standard 6P, ultimately. Many Biken players just choose to tackle the anti-air conundrum by instead moving or air-to-airing rather than just staying grounded and going for a 6P. And the fish for maybe a hair wizard dress being somewhere in the vicinity. Of course, one of the toughest nuts, or one of the core problems. Oh, but hold back, we get a counter hit. Doesn't quite manage to convert it. But that new improved Artemis, certainly a attractive tool to use, especially in the newest patch. Yeah, that's gonna be a punish unless you go for the RC. And now the reversal here. Raven was minus here, ended up pressing something, or maybe going for the follow-up, leaving a gap in the string, which the winger, being an invulnerable reversal, does cover. Ooh, and since another hair guard, it is a fast low, which kinda sort of asks your opponent to just stay there and low block it or be in the air already. Oh, misses with the ender. No worries, we have the meter to spend into a makeshift Oki situation. Keep the pressure going. Not a counter hit from the Artemis there. Surprising. That was a throw attempt that Raven was trying to go for. I'm still not exactly sure what are the rules for the new Artemis to convert. I know that in the corner especially, you should be able to get combo now. Maybe even mid-screen if the spacing is correct. To the other side, Raven blocks successfully and interrupts that. I think that was a hair car there. Frame trap attempt. Getting stopped by the 9-frame far slash from Baiken. Oh, the Ozan ends up whiffing. Maybe the physics provided by the tether ends up screwing up the combo, and Bunnix confidently taking the burst. The wall unfortunately does not have a lot of HP left, so ends up breaking it rather fast. Raven with the 50. What can we do with that? Oh, was maybe trying to go... Would you go TK Yozen there? With the throw? Is gonna be enough on that low life bar. Bunnix. Ooh, it's a very close... Taking a punish though with the 5B. I mean, we do take what we can get. Of course. Oh. With the BRC slowing down time and going for a cross-up. Extra momentum from that FRC as well. Starting with a TK Yozen round start. However, Bunnix already on a retreating trajectory. Went for a 6k cancel there for the overhead, but Raven is ready to aggressively mash out, and this time it's gonna be Raven who takes the burst. Aborting the combo as well. I think that was not exactly a natural point where you would just drop your combo usually. But had the hunch, locking down the opponent in the positive bonus, and then the quick TK Yozen. Very often the name of the game in Baiken's mix-up situation, and if you don't utilize the instant air as Yozen, like per se, the threat of the instant overhead is always there, is what kind of makes your opponent stand up, allowing you to sometimes score those just casual, safe low starters, even without meter. Great blocks here once again on the left-right, and the instant air dash Yozen finding its mark into, yeah, there we go, the 2D in the mix-up 50-50 situation. That is, and a TK Yozen is what makes that happen. Tried to go for a // poke there, but the new S-disc frame trap, which you I think now can combo off of, was that the change that Milia got? Look on the Artemis, but then the fire jump PPP. Milia having some of the best fast pokes in the air, both the jump P and the jump K as well, pretty decent. Alright, time to set it up. This time comes from the front, and Raven unleashing the burst immediately, but back into the blender. Good block on the front. And the frame trap is tight this time around. Yeah, Bunnix has been working with that frame trap hair car. Oh, I think that was a fully charged 5D attempt from Bunnix. But I think Raven has been fairly aggressive in the defense, not letting any of those sequences rock that have like long gaps in between. And I mean, it does make sense as well, because Baiken with that 5B, actually not actually the best with that button, right? Because it's kind of hard to Gatling into reasonable rewards for her. But I mean, you have to start somewhere. You have to defend with something. And usually the 5-framer of choice, which ends up being the 5B from Baiken. Oh, that was a nice angle. into a full combo. Misses the sort of messes up the setup afterwards, but life situation has been equalized. Very low resources for both players. The self corner ends up landing straight into the 2D mash of Ravens. But Milia being extremely hard to catch. The last Saker starter into Archie should be the kill. Yep, any kind of wall break here is gonna be enough. Doesn't even need it this time around. Ooh, that's the fabled counter hit Artemis that we've been talking about, and the full combo that accompanies it. Yeah, that's mid-screen counter hit into 60%, and we were saying that Milia has no rewards. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's probably one of the most don't do that kind of a thing. Should work here. Glow Slash being demolished by the winger, and is in fact gonna get enough damage from that raw super to finish the round. Bunnix! God, I'm still a little taken back by the counter hit Artemis starter. I think that's exactly what I wanted to see. I wanted to see the amount of damage that you can do from that nowadays. Yeah, it's gonna be a punish. Too heavy, very slow on recovery, very minus on block. Ooh, nice interception. Even if the combo wasn't completely finished, dropping Bunnix in a perfect pressure position. And has the 50. Yep. I think the grounded super would not hit here, so Raven instead goes for the air cannons. And now you're guessing for... No, never mind. You're not guessing for your life. You're just straight up dead. Of course, with the tether attached, if Viken gets the throw, we'll get some really decent follow-up meterless damage from those throws. Ooh, attempted to go for a very delayed whiff punish there, but Bunnix with that fast whiff. And then the setup afterwards, a little bit too far from the 5D. BlackRaven was really smartly using FD there to push the opponent backwards. That was definitely a TK Yozan miss input. Ends up paying dearly for it. They're still attached. Gonna be an issue on the follow-up situation. Was that an escape Tatsu kind of a thing? Switching to full screen orientation, or rather mid-screen orientation there with a bad moon. Ooh, over hills and from below. Close slash from Milia. YRC gets baited by Raven. Raven has been like traditionally pretty good with the RPS game, especially the like super meaningful big reward RPS. Like the YRCs, the bursts, that kind of stuff. Very vigilant when it comes to that stuff. Ooh, running face first straight into Tatami. And this time, okay, I think it's like the third time, but third time's the charm, as they say. Even with a short combo like that, gonna be a lot of damage and a positive bonus at that as well. Switching sides with the Kabari follow-up. But this girl, Milia, so fast to switch positions back. The jump heavy, of course, hitting from both sides, preventing Raven from pressing any buttons in that situation. And save occurring, however, this time, missing the throw, and big punish opportunity for Raven. Could potentially run this back as well. Kabari, or rather tether, attach and into the empty low. That's gonna be it. The massive damage from your mix-up situations. Favoring Viken here. Yeah, if you leave this character alive and allow her to get a knockdown, it's gonna be bad news and potential explosive comeback potential. That's a lot of IBs there. But situation repeating. What are we gonna go with? Two overheads into probably relatively tight low there as well. No anti-air this time. So Bunnix looking for the hit. Option selecting the 6P whip with the PRC. Got clipped into mix-up. Air dash over into Yozan from downtown. Good defense here for Bunnix, and a good controlling the air while the tether was still attached as well. Yeah, the S-disc frame trap, new goodness. FD trying to, not only trying to, but also does push Bunnix far away from the pressure, allowing Raven to even it 3-3. All right, we definitely have a game here. But at the same time, I'm a little worried for Bunnix, because usually when Raven gets going after the sort of the warm-up rounds, if you can't stop his momentum, it's really nasty. Ooh, good about once again. The 2K this time. Catching Bunnix going for a delayed string. The burst out of the corner. Can we get out? No, sir. We're putting the bacon back on the ground where it belongs with the corner steal and sort of was it a double up into 5D as well? Mix-up after mix-up, just layer them together so that the opponent just can't react feasibly to whatever the hell that you're doing. But now gotta be careful here. Even though Bunnix has a lot of resources, Drift Forward has to respect the Septum Voices, which is, I believe, plus on block generally. Fire C, that was the last of meter for both players. Nice interception! Good timing on the burst! Puts Raven in the corner, however, doesn't manage to rev up the pressure afterwards. With Bar Slash, able to jump out, but at what cost? Raven does find the hit, but doesn't finish the deal. Escabari, plus frames, FD, get off me! And able to get a 2P interruption afterwards. I think Raven might have been a little worried there. The FD pushing Bunnix far away. He's back and forth though. Yeah, doesn't want to get stuck in the blender. Here comes the jump D, starts the situation. Well timed, delayed S-disc. Frame trapping the 6P once again. And should get the wall if Bunnix so desires. Yes, does indeed get it. Situation is rather even. Bunnix definitely with a small advantage in terms of the life and the meter. Looking for one more conversion. Is that gonna be it? The low goes for a PRC. What happened there? It doesn't matter. Make it flow. Even if you make a small mistake, was probably if I had to guess, might have been worried since this was basically the last combo that you had to do to take the round. I was probably worried that BlackRaven would have gotten burst back there and went for maybe like a impromptu burst bait, but then the burst wasn't there and it was potentially all disaster from there on out unless you salvage it. Nice combo there. The 5K into 6 heavy Gatling doesn't quite work. The 6 heavy for a bike and very slow button, so these Gatlings tend to sometimes end up whipping if the opponent is very close to the ground, I think. Par slash anti-air, we're working with it for sure. PK Yosen missed. Uh-oh. Now run back opportunity for Bunnix. It's still a couple more hits that we have to score unless it's something like the counter hit, yeah. And it's something like the counter hit Artemis that they were able to get earlier. Right, chooses a faster button here, which is, I think, is a good idea against bike and slow-ass air moves. Like, you do dominate the air with your jump slash. Air to air, air to ground, it's all good. Horizontal rage is good. But if the opponent chooses like a really fast button, then you can struggle getting that jump slash out in time. The wall break here for Bunnix. Waiting for the meter to kick in. Where's BlackRaven? One hit! There's the meter burn! Won't be enough though, I think. And Bunnix also getting the burst out in time. Just in time. Ooh, the air to air. Would Raven burst here? Bunnix, I think, definitely thought so. I think unless you're too scared about the burst, you're just gonna complete your combo, get maybe a wall break and take the round win. But the hesitation there. I mean, both these players have had very vigilant burst bait games, so it does kind of make sense that you would sort of adjust to that and be really scared like finishing your combos normally, especially if they have their burst available or are just about to get their burst back. Speaking of burst, Raven probably wanting to burst here, I would assume. Taking the life situation into account and deems that, yeah, it would be way too hard to make the comeback with this amount of life. Oh, that's a critical whiff. The S-Disc completely ends up airballing, forcing Bunnix to spend the burst. Does end up containing the target in the corner for now. Burst from Raven, looking for a way out. Can we get out? No way out. Low. No confirm though. Confirm comes in the follow-up situation. Frame trap into RC, into a wall break. And suddenly, everything looks so much better. We gotta wait for the juice though. Juice comes back really fast if you manage to touch your opponent in the positive bonus. Oh, great interception. Using that jump slash once again. And attach the Kabari. I think this is good. I think Raven pressed the button. Yes, indeed. Press the 5-framer. Try to keep it as tight as possible. But Bunnix says, no, I will not have this high damage prospect imposed upon me. Ooh, look at that range. That horizontal range of that bike and jump slash is so good. Which of course makes sense why Viking players love that button so much. It's kind of a Swiss Army knife in a way of air normals for what it can do. As long as you have the frames to get it started. Ooh, caught him with a low. Juicing that cash out just yet. Drift forward. Raven trying to get into some sort of dominant position to impose pressure, but unfortunately, just way too much life and way too many options available for Bunnix. Into close slash, tries to delay the Gatling string, allowing the opponent a couple of frames to potentially hang themselves. Nice backlash, and then straight in there with Mirage. Moving back and forth, this is exactly what Milia does. That cop got caught by the too heavy, chasing those backdashes, chasing that backwards movement. And now Raven looking for potentially one more to end this round. Bunnix, of course, sitting very comfortably here. If he would get this round, it would be a really nice... Oh no! Tragedy strikes Raven. The miss on the TK Yozan, but does take the throw in the follow-up situation. Air to air, however, jump be a little hard to convert unless you go straight into Gun Super or something like that. And time to fly. Raven does have the burst though. Here's the burst from Bunnix, minus frame. That's a good hit until the combo is not finished. Oh no! Big fumbles back and forth, but it ends up being Bunnix who gets the hit confirm and moves to the 6-point position first. There were a lot of hits that were super hard to confirm, like that back jump jumpy, for example, from Raven. I'm not even sure how you could convert that past that. But no time to worry about that. Oh, big counter hit here. Some of these jump slashes, the further we've progressed into the set, have been a little fumbly. Follow-up combo, not fumbly at all. Through the wall we go. Here come the resources, straight forward. I think Bunnix already queued up the button here pre-flash. Which, of course, Viking does have a solution for that. If you drift into a starting button, you can always queue up your parry. Same thing that DP characters can do. Ooh, not even going for the DK Yozan this time. Just tap on the 5D. I think it makes sense because, like, maybe the tap 5D is a little more comfortable to convert when you're just looking for one more pixel. And Raven has had a lot of drops on those TK Yozans, so maybe just basically saying, I know you will get hit overhead, so just let me do it with a tool that requires basically no execution whatsoever instead. Drifting straight into the active jump slash. Melee with the good air buttons and the wall break. Off the hard kind. How do we mix up here? Just Mirage into a throw. Expecting Raven to perhaps go for a reversal parry. Makes sense. Oh, the 6B just barely ends up whiffing. Set point Bunnix once again. Raven needs a couple of rounds and couple of games of oob in order to bring himself back into the middle of it. X-ray jump slash from a slightly awkward angle, as was that TK Yosan, or that Yosan as well. Opponent already behind, high up in the air, but now we mix. With a fake overhead, land into a throw. Now Bunnix's turn to show what's what. Burst is available. Would we bait? Not this time. The opponent is still fairly healthy. And the burst bait RPS. Is that gonna be what decides the match here? Where does the burst come from? Good block on the low. Has to burst the follow-up. That could have been an immediate super. And the deep dash 5D. Sorry, the 6P. Look, drop of the combo. It's not over yet. And the chip damage of all things. I would have never expected it to be a chip kill on Bad Moon. And I think if you connect Bad Moon really close to the ground as like a TK, it's impossible to react to, but it also does not land, like it only sort of, there's only like the one hit, right? But if you connect it from a very high angle, what Bunnix was doing here, it actually lands multiple hits before landing. And those multiple hits was exactly what Bunnix needed to sort of put in enough special moves for the threat of the chip kill. Now that I think about it, that was actually a brilliant play from Bunnix. Very unsafe if you just let it rock from that distance. I mean, generally TK Bad Moon or any sort of Bad Moon tends to be a very high-risk proposition. The differentiating factor, or rather the kicker, is that, you know, it's usually not going to be blocked by the opponent. They would have to hard read it, they would have to raise their guard, stand up. But wow, what a finish. We have another bike and game queued up here next. Longingly, who had their debut match last week on Bounty Hunters, is going to be returning on screen, facing up against Jayce Happy Chaos. Okay, I think both players are on the way. Yeah, actually confirming that this is in fact Jayce's Happy Chaos debut. Before, we have seen Jay on that. Sin. And I think Testament as well, right? There was a couple of matches of Testament, then a lot of Sin, and now trying their hand at one of the most tricky characters to play in this game, Happy Chaos, but definitely has the reward, like the not the gratification, the investment does pay off if you do learn this character. For Happy Chaos not only has been a, you know, primary meta threat for a long time, but now especially in the current patch where Happy Chaos basically survived with very little nerfs whatsoever, while many other characters did get nerfed quite badly. Happy Chaos currently stands perhaps at a very comfortable position at somewhere around the top tier. Some could even argue that, you know, very, very, very close to the top, in fact. But the problem is the technicality of this character. Very sort of non-traditional character to control, because you are in a way, I guess there could be some like comparisons to puppet characters where you sort of control two different things at once. You control your main body, and then you kind of control Happy Chaos's hand at the same time with your heavy buttons, taking out the gun and able to move around, playing both the main body and the reticle at the same time. It's not quite as complex as Zato, I guess, but the extra layer of complexity will then further be applied from the fact that you have to manage your resources. In fact, 2 different resources, in addition to whatever you got already universally in Guilty Gear Strive. So it's like the difficulty of sequencing the gunshots, maintaining your resource balance so that you don't run out of either one of your resources, the bullets and the concentration, and then everything else that comes with playing fighting games. I mean, these games are not easy games to play whatsoever. Even if you're playing like a modern fighting game that gives a lot of quality of life features and makes a lot of things a little bit easier, adding maybe a little bit more button buffer, stuff like that. It's still in these quotations easy modern day fighting games. They're still ridiculously hard games to play.
Mankind knew that they cannot
And picking up like one of the most technical character in your favorite fighting game is very admirable, for sure. Let's see how it's gonna go though. So Jayce in the left corner with that Happy Chaos, challenging Longingly today. Chaos with the range and the neutral advantage. Viken perhaps has the better rewards, but you have to work your way in first. Through the bullets, through the excellent buttons of Happy Chaos and all the like. Exactly in this position you want to be as often as possible. Happy Chaos is also kind of snaky, slithery. Once you allow Happy Chaos to backdash or jump out, especially in the corner, the jump tends to be your primary method of escaping. If you allow her, ooh, but on that thought we get a counter hit here. Starting with the 2 heavy, going under the high profile poke. I think it was far slash, or was that even 6S? Happy Chaos is of course one of those strange characters who, because ooh, got the first, the presence of mind to RC forward. The reversal parry, and that's gonna be a big damaging chunk of damage. Longingly. Wait, that happened so fast. Wait, was that a full game? I thought that was just 1 round. With the Haymaker 6S, manages to find a hit and forcing Longingly the burst. Don't give me the hiccups now. Sequencing successfully, drops the combo in the middle, but going into happy little accidents. Seems to be a little bit of stutter here. I wonder if it's the connection to Greece can be maybe a little bit tricky for some EU countries. There's also always the possibility that routing magic is not gonna work wonders. Starting with a 9-framer, faster than whatever Happy Chaos can put out. So there's a decent amount of incentive for potentially Happy Chaos to just disengage from those round star situations. Walk back, maybe look for a whiff punish, maybe just engage all together, and Longingly. My gosh! When the rounds do end up going in Viken's favor, you can have some really quick mauling. It's like 1 hit into big mix-up, lanyard mix-up, another combo, 2-touch situation, and Happy Chaos goes down. Speaking of, I think the wall is gonna give up before the full damage can be done. So 1 more opportunity for Jay here. He has to spend the burst immediately. The gun! Who has the better gun? Unfortunately, Jay didn't quite latch with the reticle here. The reticle was like somewhere 45-degree angle above Baiken's head. I guess if your shot was to land there, you could maybe interrupt the super gun coming online. With the heavy Kabari, the S version is plus, but the heavy, if you want to play with that, or usually like frame trap into that, is gonna be minus and leading into that potential follow-up RPS. Ooh, this is a good one. I see a 2K. Bam, bam, bam. Time to push the offense here. Jay has decent amount of meter for the spending, but unfortunately doesn't manage to mount any sort of pressure here. Of course, Happy Chaos is a character who lacks all sorts of DPs and reversal supers. So the only thing that you can do with your meter, usually if you don't want to attempt something like a backdash BRC, which, I mean, now that I mention it, that backdash BRC, we've seen quite a lot of videos on the Twitters recently, especially against Baiken's tatami mat block strings. But yeah, if you don't want to commit to something like a backdash BRC, it's gonna be mainly just YRC that you're working with. And of course your burst. Wow! Just predicting that there was gonna be a strike immediately. Burst into the corner. Oh! What is happening here? Who's going where? It kind of looked like the players switched positions there for a moment. I blinked and I was completely bamboozled. The great Kabari attach here. 40% of Jayce's life is gone, minus frames. In fact, that's when you go for the second hit or the follow-up heavy Kabari follow-up, you are gonna be punishable if you can't spend RC. And Jay did recognize that successfully. Oh, with a Goomba Stomp. And a good conversion as well. It's a little bit of a lag spike, but it's a frame trap lag spike. Drop the combo into, maybe the opponent thinks that they can press a button, but no. This is painful. So much stutter. I think this is just an internet issue. I think the players confirmed earlier. And the reversal is actually gonna be enough. So Longingly third in a row. I wonder. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to see what the players want to do here, if they want to play this out or otherwise. I mean, it's completely understandable if you aren't having the best of routings or if you're just having a bad internet day. Completely understandable if you deemed that it was not playable, but we are gonna play this on for now. Skipping to the other side with the other follow-up. How do you input that? Actually, I've played Baiken, so I should know. It's you're holding onto the heavy button, right? So then the follow-up goes through the opponent. Ooh, the TK Yozan actually calling out the 2S round start from Happy Chaos. Got shot pressure a little bit too far. The 5D does have, like, I guess balancing feature does have limited range for Happy Chaos, considering how easy it is to convert and to play with, since you have your gun mechanic. Once again, try to go for a 6S. Big reach for that, but very low start, slow startup, and might be low profilable, which is what Longingly has been doing here so far. Should be able to block here. Yep, in fact, jumps over. The late RC does save Longingly from big punishment. RC plus frames, goes straight for the parry, and then queuing up with the gold burst. Investing all the universal resources. But luckily, the gold burst, even if you whip it, is quite hard to punish. Even if it's on block, like virtually unpunishable. even if you whiff it completely, the opponent will have to be like super on point to actually be able to get the punish in time. Speaking of getting there on time, Longingly with the whiffed burst there. Sorry, the whiffed parry there. Ooh, that was some delay here. Big counter hit. Dangerous kind of situation in the sense that if you drift into that point blank position where the opponent could potentially mash throw, you better make sure that your strike comes at the frame that you desire. Usually in situations like that, you would have to leave exactly like 1 frame of gap to not be throwable. Speaking of the throws, oh, we're just reversaling out of there with a Hiragi. Back throws back and forth, trying to go for the TKOs and missing the input and getting thrown for their troubles. Now back to the neutral, able to get the steady aim shot, but again, ready to rev up the reversal parry, and it works out like wonder. Small stutters, who gets the better of it? Jay does get the pressure going, but goes bust in the end. I wonder if, like, if you get like a stutter lag kind of situation like that, and you're just trying to do your best and like not go bust in terms of your unique resources, but it's so hard to route into the right thing. Jay potentially looking for a game to open up the score, and indeed does get it. That looked like a cross-up as well. It's really hard to see with that Goomba Stomp. It did momentarily look that Jay was on the other side, but who knows? Maybe it was front, maybe it was back. I mean, the opponent definitely has this same feature as well, being able to mix it up left, right quite efficiently. Rushing hit after hit, looking for an opportunity to confirm. We do have a clean confirm here from the throw. 50 tension investment. What next? Good 6-speed dash. Recognizes that the opponent is in the air. I think should be able to block here, right? Unless they already queued up something. Now let's see the punish. Yeah, into the gun combo. The stutters though, it's a shame. It's a little bit of a shame. The instant air dash Goomba Stomp, able to find the hit. Now next screen, both players with the 50. Drift coming online. Does it? Wait, was there a block? That's an interesting position. So the gunshot super kind of ended up detonating here, and I thought Jay was kind of sort of forced to block there, but because the grounded gun does end up being plus quite often, so I'm a little puzzled why Jay came out of that situation as the one who got to press the buttons. As sees the slowdown frame of TKOs and starting, able to block overhead, and then finding a conversion, couple more bullets in the chamber. The Old Faithful, the reversal parry does get Longingly out of it. Would we get the punish? PRC falls straight into 5 PPP. Not a kill. If only Longingly could land 1 or 2 special moves, that would potentially be a chip kill. Oh, what a whip punish, dashing forward and throwing there through the mud, the frames and the stutter. Alright, fine, heavy counter hit, big starter here, lots of whips. The TKOs and also ends up whipping, making sure that we are indeed confirming this throw. I mean, you do what you gotta do in a tough environment like this. Damage certainly does not come for free. Ooh, speaking of, oh my god, whipping 2 5Ds. Gee, Happy Chaos, how does your mom let you whip that many buttons? But I mean, it kind of works out because you do have your gun still pointed at the opponent. most of the time, right? Right, Longingly in the 5-point position. Looking to potentially wrap it up early if we can keep up the momentum. But let's see if Jay has something to say about that. Starting with the 6S. Big counter hit. And opting to, instead of going for the full combo, just opting to keep the sort of the resource situation under control. Successful backdash out of the throw. Immediate burst from Longingly. Now if we could get Viking in the corner, this could be big. Spending a burst of his own in order to contain the opponent in the corner. Accidental side switch. Where we're blocking. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. But no gun here. You would probably have to dash in fairly deep for the close slash and then go for one of those combos that allow hit confirm without straight going into the gun, right? Ooh, is this high enough for an anti-air hit? Yes, indeed. And the third hit, despite Happy Chaos being juggled in the air in a really precarious angle, does manage to get the last hit successfully as well. Started with a 2S. 2S is a little bit faster than the 2 heavy that Longingly has been utilizing quite a bit. Oh, this time, just smack him with the 5P. And a big combo at that as well. Break at the end of the sequence. Jay already with a lot of resources, but Longingly is gonna have a ton as well after the next interaction. Shoot him with the gun. And the far slash whiff in full screen, I think, was what caught there. One more to go. Can Jay have one more word in? All players using the burst. Situation currently favoring Jay. Missing the meaty. But does get the wall break in the end. Alright, we're securing all that damage plus the positive bonus. The meter ever so important. Both, like, if you are in a tough situation where you need to, like, panic get your unique resources back, you can substitute tension for that, but also, you know, as one of the few defensive resources that you can use on Happy Chaos to be able to have that wire C when necessary. No anti-air attempt here. The gun does end up whipping. Unless the opponent is in block stun, when you take out the gun, it's roughly 1 out of 3 chance that you're gonna hit them. So the odds are always against you if the opponent is not currently in block stun. That's why you usually want to engage by, you know, putting out normals first, hoping that the opponent blocks them, and then pulling out the gun. Sort of the order of doing things. Skipping to the other side. Oh, I wonder if there was supposed to be a strike before the RC. And now Longingly, potentially a run-back attempt. Far slash whiff into another far slash. Do it. It's a fast button after all. Set point Longingly. Started with a backdash, making the 6S whiff. To the other side. Can we not quite routing into the successful hit? Yeah, it's so hard, like, especially when you're just starting out with Happy Chaos. It's really hard to route into successful, like, 5 heavy hits with that gun. Or rather, 5 heavy timings. It's kind of like the timing is everything. The rhythm when you're working with that. Now, maybe 1 hit away from sealing the deal here. But the close slash Abare. Getting a real good combo for Jay. There we go, a full sequence at that. Air dash over the gun as well. Had to spend the burst. Now Jay has still the burst resources. The punish not completely there. Burst has been used. Send a couple of steady aims. There we go. Managing to lock onto the target and still living with a sliver of life. Jay is alive for now. But it's gonna be a hard, long, steep hill to climb here, because Longingly already in that position where just one game is gonna be the end of it all. Instant air dash works successfully and predicting the burst as well. Is Jay coming online here? At the very last moment of the set. Nice whiff punish with a 2K dashing in. Side switch out of the corner. Jay does have a lot of resources, 100 to work with. YRC could be an option. And since Longingly wasn't able to build into that 50 tension, there is still life left. Oh, the YRC as well, making sure that we indeed get this conversion. Spending all the resources to guarantee the hit there. I like that. If the combos are hard, make them a little easier when you've already secured the win, technically. Missing with a Goomba Stomp. Now working with that 2K. 2K is such a good button for Happy Chaos. Even if it's like lacks the range of the S buttons, it is still what we call in the industry one of the DLC 2Ks. And another great conversion looking like into Deus Ex Machina, full sequence. I think this is like first successful combo that Jay has been able to route into Deus Ex Machina, and that's so valuable. That fully reloads your gun. I think this should be successful. The 2D is gonna get run over by the reversal super of Baiken. Yeah, and even from that far distance, micro dash into 2 heavy, still producing a successful meaty there for Longingly. Got the Escabari attached. Ooh, a successful hit. Can we route into something nice? Not quite. And Jay. Here comes Jay once again, reloading 1 bullet. Is this a safe jump? It is not, unfortunately. Despite Jay looking like they're so close to the ground, not getting the landing. Ooh, the trade definitely not in Jay's favor. Can't afford to trade anymore. Finding the 5K, finding the conversion. Quick 1, 2, 3. But we need more. Burst. Here comes Longingly, misses with the jump slash, no worries, landing straight into, oh my god, that's the most unfortunate lag spike. That's basically like an RC or a Mascon from Nagoriyuki, able to see the opponent's throw, missing in slow motion. And it's at that moment that they must have known it was in the bag. It's a little unfortunate that it had to go down this way, but still, good job from both players doing what they can in a tough situation. Now next up, we've got more players that have entered the fray very recently. Both Lemmen and Slityn are sitting, I think, respectively with 1 and 2 games on Bounty Hunters, if memory serves correctly. And of course, ascertain that in just a moment. Going to the records. No, it's actually Slityn is also on just one game on Bounty Hunter, so this would technically be the second game for both of these fellas. And I think both also looking for their first Bounty Hunters victory as well. Which is technically great news. At least one of the players is gonna walk out of this triumphant. I mean, technically that's what always happens in a game of in a fighting game, but you know, it's gonna taste that much sweeter when you get there. Another Happy Chaos matchup. And it's an interesting matchup as well. So I did look when I was making, or rather matchmaking for this event, I did look at the records for Happy Chaos versus Zato on Bounty Hunters. And even though my gut feeling would tell me that this is a tricky matchup for Zato, having to contend with potential like full screen pokes from Happy Chaos, historically this has gone in favor of the Zato players more or less. I think we, like, out of maybe 5 or 6 Zato versus Happy Chaoses in Bounty Hunters history, I think this has been won by Happy Chaos only once, which is kind of interesting. Both characters, of course, very difficult to control. Zato may... Well, Zato is a puppet character, and it doesn't get much harder to control than a puppet character often in a fighting game. Hopefully we actually get the load into the game. Oh my god, don't give me a repeat of the previous match. Is it my fault again? I hope it's gonna be okay. Okay. Get the load in there. Marching in from the left corner. Or I guess from the right to the left. Slityn with that Happy Chaos. And then on the right, we got Lemmen.
Chaos versus Zato. Duel 1. Let's rock.
All right, with the flight, you have to definitely be a little bit more mobile on Zato than normally. If you just like go for a full screen eddy summon, that's very liable to get just sniped easily from the Happy Chaos player. At the same time, there's only like so much that you can do. If you start flying, the movement tends to be rather slow-ish. So you gotta be really careful not to get sniped from those positions. Now, getting a first good corner pressure position, converting into... Was actually able to get an unsummon there before the command grab, I think. That was a brilliant sequence there. Starting with the flight, coming down from a very tricky angle. Slityn contained in the corner. This is same kind of bane for both players. If you do get put in this corner position, it's ever so difficult to get rid of the opponent. Happy Chaos has the gun that can extend pressure for long periods of time until you run out of one of your unique resources. And Zato, of course, has the puppet. Preventing all the jump outs and then snipes one. However, the sequence not routing correctly, and I'm having the hiccups. That's 2 hiccups in one event. Thank God we have water. Okay, Slityn playing himself out of the corner. YRC immediately, and then the snipe with the jump B. Yeah, there's so much like vertical momentum here already. Lemmen showing that they are willing to, you know, engage even without the puppet. Yeah, just like this. And you kind of the natural trajectory can be upwards as well, because you kind of want to avoid the curse ball throws, which is probably going to be one of the first layer 1 sort of actions that Happy Chaos takes, because it's so important to get that curse on. Makes landing a lot of your stuff so much more easier after that. Ooh, dangerous whiff there on the command grab. Now Slityn with potentially an opportunity, however gets sniped out of the sky with the jump B once again. I swear these Zato players so good at using that jump B. Makes sense, it's definitely a button worth using as well. with its nice range and everything. Ooh, get caught there by the Executor. Or rather the Soundboard, as it's called in this game.
Slap. Duel 2. Let's rock.
Ooh, that was a great dash. Wait, how I did that low profile? I thought just dashing forward would make you collide with the curse ball. Interesting. Air dash out of the corner, air dash back in order to reach some sort of eddy movement. I mean, it makes sense if you're sort of contending with the drills or summons into Pierce or stuff like that. Is it called Pierce in this game? I think it's called Pierce here. Yeah. I'm mixing myself up. Out of the corner, dropping the combo. Do we still have the kill? Yes, indeed. 2K2D does the deed. Gets Slityn on the board as well.
Man. Duel 1. Let's rock.
Starting with the jump in once again on the Zatpol side. It is surprisingly like eddy-free. Like eddy-free kind of a matchup. We've only seen the puppet, as long as Lemmen manages to land the hit, that's when the puppet comes online, because it's so liable to getting sniped otherwise. With 5PP, anti-air doesn't quite manage to convert into much. Whereas it's Slityn who gets to mix it up. Was that front? Was that back? Nobody knows. But all we know, there was a counter hit. Yeah, YRC immediately. It's another thing to consider that, like, you get through the neutral. Wow, again, the curse ball just whips. When you get through the neutral, you still have to be worried about the universal mechanics such as the YRC and the burst. But at least nowadays, if your puppet gets interrupted, you don't lose your whole gauge immediately, right? Yeah, it's a good showcase of why having the puppet out just casually, not necessarily the best idea when you're playing against Happy Chaos. I'm unsure if summoning into oppose can even block bullets from Happy Chaos. Gets opened up, waiting for, oh, that must have been a burst bait from Slityn. But Lemmen not quite ready to bite. It in fact ends up being Slityn who uses all the resources. There's the burst! And with the precise instant air dash, catching Lemmen airborne. Slityn managing to play himself into a leading position here very early in this set. Ooh, that 2S must have been on the frame before the shot went off. Ooh, that's a dangerous recharge on the concentration. Lemmen does manage to push the offense. Anti with the 5 heavy, a lot of buttons being whiffed. It's a scramble, but who comes out of it? Slityn able to switch sides and go into the gun pressure, the shimmy backdash. Finding a lot of good success with this. A little low on concentration, actually going bust. We could go into super concentration here, or just wait for the bar to come back. It does come back rather fast as well. In fact, the concentration gauge does recharge faster when it's bust, compared to when it's just like neutral. Here comes the Eddy. Tap on the 5D. It's been so surgical when Lemmen actually managed to get into the pressure position. Oh, nice flight there. Once again, trying to stay as mobile as possible in order to make sure that the reticle never latches onto you. Starting with the 2S, the shot ends up missing. I wonder, is that because like you delay the 5 heavy to take out your gun too much? so that the opponent is no longer in block stun and therefore becomes an RNG gunshot. No RNG gunshots this time, keeping it tight. And from the flight, ooh, is that punishable? Yes, indeed, slows down time for Lemmen. BRC guaranteeing even a custom kind of punish there if you have routed your slowdown punishes, or slowdown combos rather. There's the leap, another one, holding the opponent steady. There's not much you can do. Even YRC attempt does not work out, turns into a BRC and then punished there on the Sun Void. Ooh, but that snipe. Lemmen was pressing something there. I wonder what. But even if you don't manage to land the hit, the full screen Deus Ex Machina is fairly safe. And it does reload your gun, so I feel like there's especially like lower skill levels maybe, there's a lot of utility. I mean, even on higher skill levels, if you are in an emergency, to route into sort of a full screen range Deus Ex Machina. I mean, you do what you gotta do in order to maintain full control of your resources. Speaking of those, gun was relatively empty-like looking there. With Deus Ex Machina getting all the bullets back once again. Nice snipe with the jump B. And working in tandem with the little buddy. Was able to go for an unsummon successfully there to save. Oh, back throw. OTG, not there. YRC destroys Eddie. That's what we're saying, the universal mechanics. However, the jumpy once again. Recognizing that Slityn probably wants to get out of the corner and intercepting it with the pincers. Ooh, the jump in from Zato, barely missing there. Giving Slityn another opportunity. The backwards moving momentum and the air button. Successfully protecting your airspace into an Eddie summon. Here we go. Able to get the hit. Super would be it. We can transfer, or like we can transition into a shimmy as well. Opponent was hitting a button there. So even without the puppet, big rewards inbound. Another quick jump B into. What can we do with the summon here? It's actually a pretty valuable burst. Lemmen wasn't quite able to get value out of the unsummon that they were trying to go for at the end of the string. Tap 5D, overhead, finds the hit. Is this enough? Not quite. I think XarioS is not quite a zero stamina character, right? Sorry, not stamina, zero guts character is what I meant to say. Do you have the inside? Ooh. Juicy glow slash hits, however, the hit confirmed not quite being there. Lemmen with so many resources. They should be safe descent, right? Yeah, I guess the hitbox is so massive that you can't even air dash over it. Slityn might have even been in a state where you can't even block during the startup of the air dash. Oh, went for the unsummon a little bit too close, allowing Slityn just abare into it and get out of the corner. Slow down frames, there we go, recognizing getting the hit. And let's see, can we get a good routing? The enter there, dropping unfortunately. Stopping the startup of Blue Wireless with the 6P. Working with the corner again. Reset the gauge with the unsummon. Ooh. Glow slash managed to get the counter hit. Not quite the follow-up, but as long as the opponent keeps being locked up in the corner, it's all good, says Lemmen. Evening it 3-3, and I guess we're gonna get a small disconnection here. Let's see if we can still recover. See if the players noticed. If not, we're gonna lose one game of footage, which is okay. I think the players notice though. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a sandbag out of the match, so not gonna lose too much footage here. Always a nice thing when we can have that. And thanks to the players being vigilant. It is like semi-easy to spot if you get like a please wait loading screen between your the post-match, in your post-match screen, then that usually means that spectators are gonna inevitably drop as well. Oh wait, I guess we're playing this. Okay. That is okay too. I'm always good for preserving the sort of competitive integrity of the event. So if the players don't notice, that's fine. They can play their match without having the sort of the results invalidated. And I think it looks like Lemmen took the cake there. So I presume this is gonna be from 4-3 position or 3-4 position. Lemmen having one game of the lead.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Alright, back into it. With that fast Zato Zola body movement. Trying to find a way in. Nice interception there on the landing. 2K2D leading into a successful combo into a throw as well. Flowing really well for Slityn this round. The backdash shimmy as well. Getting a throw of their own. Ooh, but this time the opponent was ready to read it. YRC too far away, unfortunately. Very powerful mechanic. As long as you're close enough to main body. I think it doesn't even matter if the puppet is there, because the YRC, I think, technically cannot hit the puppet. It has to connect on the main body, which is the Zato himself.
Chaos. Win. Duel 2. Let's rock.
Alright, time to summon the little guy. Here's where the fun begins. Just before the wall stick was still able to get unsummoned as well, procuring full stick of Eddy gauge in the state shift. Good snipe here. Oh, this is so tough. 100 meter, fresh Eddy ready to go, and no burst for Slityn. You don't even, like, in that kind of situation, you don't want to even try to deflect shield either, because it's so likely that you're just gonna go down anyway. Kind of the same as hero burst. If there are hero bursts, are there hero deflects as well? I think so. Wait, that's kind of a cool thing. I'm gonna start calling them hero deflects from now on. During this combo, I think Slityn should be getting the concentration back soon after the wall break. And now summon into Pierce. YRC immediately. Good timing as well. Was able to put Lemmen in a decent deficit on the puppet gauge. Trying to go for the shimmy again. This time Lemmen not biting. In fact, taking air and intercepting. It's kind of like the risk that you take if you try to shimmy someone instead of trying to frame trap their throw instead. If they don't go for the throw, you are sort of in a position where you're moving away from the opponent and you open yourself up to getting striked. Now it's Lemmen who goes for the shimmy. No reaction from Slityn. Takes the curse ball on the way in, but gets rid of it immediately. Once again, the jumpy being the hero air-to-air tool that it is, that it has been for Lemmen. Summoning into Pierce, yeah, there's very little that you can do in that position. The far range from Zato. Alright, the air dash out of the corner. The classic escape, super jump, air dash. Oh, nice tap there on the jumpy once again. I swear, that's like the most valuable button. Tries to go for it again. This time, the arc not being favorable for Lemmen, unfortunately. Taking a couple of shots. The target is moving real fast, like. And the conversion, this is gonna be a kill. Good choice there. Lemmen just with so much momentum. Kind of like one of the matches we had earlier. After the 3-3, the momentum just starting to flow in one player's favor. Summoning here for the pressure, get caught. And again, I think Lemmen was able to get the unsummon just before the burst. That's kind of an interesting, like, Zato-specific way of reading a burst. If you can't, like, block the burst, the next best thing you can do is unsummon Eddie so that it comes back immediately. Or technically immediately. YRC and the last march here on this round, potentially for a Slityn. However, the air movement, the mobility from Lemmen is just unprecedented. It feels like it's so hard to catch a flying Zato. Ooh, to the other side, takes a close slash on the way out, into a command grab. This completely resets the situation. Unsummon, and then, yep, immediately after the unsummon, the inevitable jump out attempt. I mean, there's also, like, it kind of feels like usually if the puppet is out, there's like, it's so hard to justify trying to approach the opponent on the ground. So your natural reaction is to try to jump out, especially on Happy Chaos, because that's like one of your only defensive options. And while we're talking about that, Lemmen goes for another successful snipe out of the air. The air-to-airs were definitely the MVP for Lemmen in this set. It feels like that's kind of what you have to work with in order to avoid getting cursed, in order to avoid not getting your puppet sniped all the time.
I knew that they cannot change society.
Oh, it's wait, was it not 7 already?
They
Or
blame the beasts. Heaven or hell.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I counted correctly. Maybe? I think the GG is called in the chat already, so maybe it was a misinput on the retry. Or a rematch rather. Is there even a, can I return the room? Yes I can, okay. Alright, good stuff. It's a matchup we've gotten to see surprisingly often, considering how rare of a character Zato is. And it always surprises me how well the Zato players work with this. Next up, we've got 2 more to go. Decently high level matches at that. We're gonna be Civ on that brand new, or maybe not brand new Slayer, but I guess this is the latest character that Civ has been playing a lot. I was able to allegedly play Slayer to Vanquisher rank as well, just a couple of days ago. Yeah, played Slayer quite a bit in the past year, so definitely not Civ's first rodeo on this character. I would probably be considering like how it does take quite a bit of effort to get characters into Vanquisher. Should be fairly good to go with this one. Zormar, on the other hand, I think this would be Zormar's this would be Zormar's debut match on Bounty Hunter. A decently high-level Kai player. It is once again Kai, a super good, super strong character for controlling the ground. Has a lot of stuff that can limit Slayer's horizontal mobility. You got the fireballs, you got your big pokes, you got active frames, all of the classic stuff that tends to be fairly strong versus Slayer across the different Guilty Gear games. All right, we got players climbing up on the cabinet, or whatever that monstrosity is that you sign up for in Guilty Gear Strive. Kai is such a cool character as well. Technically, sort of a popular character, just for the merit of being one of the sort of main carrying forces of the franchise, but not very common in like super high level tournament play. Being middle of the road, turns out, is like rarely not the kind of the sauce that people are looking for. Ooh, nice split kick over the too heavy. I caught Civ saying the other day that she's been trying to use the too heavy, the demon button of Slayers a little bit more, because honestly, it's a really good button. It is technically if you're contending against lows, it is technically a 5-frame starter. It is one of best of the starters for Slayer in terms of damage potential. Dragon install. This is a value wall break. This is actually chip damage potential here is relatively high as well if Civ just ends up blocking. But we know the destructive, the explosive potential of this character Slayer. One hit and it could be over. Oh, but it's a one single fireball instead. Yeah, we were talking about that horizontal zone control for Kai. And it's like, you'd usually not want to go airborne that much on Slayer if you can help it. Therefore, stuff like fireballs does kind of close out your primary trajectory of approach really well. Through the wall, Engaging with the safe jab 5k, although Slayer nowadays doesn't really have a whole lot of stuff to sort of interrupt the opponent's pressure. Starting to come back with that countering too heavy into... Oh, tried to frame trap into it again, but this time Zormar aggressively pressing that far-ranging far slash. Good choice of buttons as well, because if you were the mash in that situation where Zormar was in lockdown in the corner, if you mashed with like low-profile buttons, 2S, 2D, 2K, stuff like that, you will get hit. You will get low crushed by that too heavy from Slayer. To the other side with it. With the Zormar hammer, with the Slayer's hammer. What is it? Master's hammer? That's the move. Lots of plus frames when you detonate the electricity with your flip kick. Able to backdash out of it, however, the reaching long hand of the Nightless, which is the too heavy, still managing to catch Zormar and converting into big damage. Switch sides. Gonna... Is there a little bit of a laggy situation going on in this matchup as well? I really hope it's like not because of me, because sometimes the host's routing can be an issue as well. And like there's been so many connection issues today that I'm like sort of liable to think that it's my fault to a certain extent. Oh, the burst here. At that height, not necessarily getting like the biggest punish, but Civ working with a very basic combo, put them in the corner, and finding a successful hit. 1-1, both players opening it up. Yeah, Civ also recognizing that there could be a chance that it's the router doing its thing, so we're gonna have a small, quick restart here before jumping into the next match. I wonder if I should refresh the room as well while we're at it. Probably should, right? Just in case. If both players are rebooting their game as well. So let me do this quick. Network. Just in case. There we go. Boot up a brand new room. Because I do have the room in the background open, usually like around an hour before the event. So I've been always wondering, is that like... Does that make it more likely for the room to sort of malfunction and fail and start lagging for other players? Alright, we got players back, and from a 1-1 situation, hopping back into it, Civ, Zormar. With some of the most classic Guilty Gear characters. Yeah, pretty much, no, wait, Slayer wasn't in Missing Link, right?
Duel 1.
A decently classic option, starting with the Far Slash. The cool thing about Far Slash from Slayer is that it moves you forward quite a bit, so even if the opponent tries to walk out of it, I think even like a small step forward can make you connect with the opponent trying to backwalk and in like a round start position. Misses the back hits, pile bunker combo conversions. Despite how universal the sort of the combo routes from Slayer look, they're like surprisingly difficult to route into, and different hits in different situations will require you to go for slightly like different combos, different timings in your combos as well. So Slayer, definitely not a free character to just shit out damage in every sort of situation. You do need a little bit of Slayer combo theory to be a successful combo machine on this character. Case in point, missing the conversion there, Civ. Perfect spacing on the, oh, and perfect spacing on Far Slash as well. Civ comes in with the Mappa Hunch though, the key version. Ooh, good trade here I think for Civ. The DP-like hitbox, although not completely not quite completely invulnerable, usually produces some really good trades or just straight up beats a lot of stuff with how much disjoint you have in that move. Oh, that was a great choice! Probably saw the incoming heavy fireball during the Dandy step and was able to choose the button accordingly, go into Master's Hammer. It's gonna be minus, yeah. Civ pushing her turn. Ooh, nice block on the cross-up. It's around like a 20 frame cross-up if you want to do that P Dandy step into Pile Bunker, which does like Pile Bunker you from the backside. Waiting for the burst. But Zormar not biting with this amount of life. Oh, I get it. Tried to go for a huge conversion there. Hail Mary 5D. If you do land that 5D on Civ, that would have been a kill, right? But alas, we block those half-a-second overheads successfully. And Zormar does jump out of the super slow Master's Hammer as well. There's a couple of things that you can do about it. Which one of them is jumping out. You can also throw them on landing. Ooh, just sending it. But might as well. Let's see if the last horizon with the 100-meter investment is gonna be enough. It foregoes the wall break, but the damage is quite massive. One more pixel. I wonder if this is actually an unfavorable position now for Civ. This is slightly minus, right? Oh, what with the Hand of Doom powers through that Far Slash. Yeah, once again, Zormar kind of attempting to make the best out of the horrible situation, which is like the life disadvantage that they find themselves in. Installing the dragon, hoping that maybe that was a great spacing once again from the with the Far Slash. Zormar has had like surprisingly, not even surprisingly, but absolutely great spacing on like some of his Far Slashes, some of his neutral pokes, some of the fireballs as well. Standing just out of the active range of Slayer. But now, needing to fight one more hit, goes for the big money, 2 heavy grounding Civ there, into, drops the combo, it's okay, we still have meter, make it flow, 6k, plus on block. Ooh, Civ going for the command grab a little too early. Opponent still in throw protection, unfortunately, with Zormar happily takes that win there. Ooh, 6k over that fireball, not quite. I think could do that for S fireballs. Once again, Zormar's trying their luck, getting that heavy fireball out. If you do, it's a huge boon, but it does put you in rather punishable position if the opponent is not asleep and is in the right spacing. Not feeling it this time, Civ thought that it was too late, so disengaging from the potential air-to-ground situation. RC to fix the combo. We get the back hit into wall break. No, wait, huh? Wait, that stick. Usually the Pile Bunker just causes the stick immediately. Must have been too far away or something. Or maybe an OTG hit. And just like that, Zormar steals it back. Wow. If that Pile Bunker in Civ's last combo actually successfully stuck to the wall, that would have been a kill. But that's why you never give up in fighting games. There's always a way out if you get if you get the engine started, you can definitely do it. Maintain the offensive momentum, and eventually you'll get there. Successful Hand of Doom once again, and the combo leading from that pretty decent as well. Ooh, great throw. One more hit to the other side. Does this hit on the backside? No. Do we have the punish though? Yes, indeed. Lots and lots of recovery there as Sky slowly airballs himself into the corner. Oh, tried to go for another far slash there, but Zormar from the neutral jump angle able to abort it, or interrupt it rather. The low invulnerability starts up in time for that 5 heavy. I guess that's one of the reasons why we probably don't see as much of that stun dipper from Kai in this matchup. The threat of that 2 heavy, which crushes lows. It's usually much more lucrative to like try to stand at a spacing where the 2 heavy would whiff and then go for the whiff punish, because that 2 heavy, as damaging and as devastating of a button it is quite whiff punishable. Very slow on recovery there. Yeah, Zormar definitely trying to look for it. In response, Civ just Mappa hunches in. But also, if you have... Ooh, there we go with the interruption. Stop jumping, would you? Now Zormar with the 5D frame kill into a throw. This time taps the 5D. And it's way too late to go for the hero burst. Ooh, nice. Recovers from the Mappa. Straight into the anti-air. And Slayer has a lot of the anti-air troubles covered by just pressing the S button. Trying to jump out, Zormar intercepting. Ooh, that's a big one. Waiting for the the prediction there. Misses the combo though on the aftermath. Glow slash once again. It's so high up in the air. It's like Slayer is kind of like a character where if you get, that was a great throw, throwing out of the dandy step, the delayed dandy. By so fast, counter hit variant as well takes them into the corner. The back throw takes Zormar out of the corner. A little bit of a mistake there. But I mean, you have pretty decent corner carry for this character. Can we get the back hit? Yes, indeed. This time sticks properly. But look at this, Zormar with a lot of attention. Delayed RC into more pressure. Very close to another stick of butter. Does get to it. The fireball from a perfect distance. Like if Zormar was too close, that fireball could get beaten by the Abara 2 heavy of Civs. But Zormar has been positioning himself in a pretty much the perfect position for the whole duration of this set. Very rarely venturing into the active range of that move. And it's really important to sort of put yourself in that position as well, because that's where K-Mappa becomes minus as well. So if you're just waiting for it, waiting for Slayer to make a move, and the K-Mappa comes out, then it's theoretically your turn. Good block there. Oh, Zormar's defense is impeccable. At the DP out. Hammer of Doom. Hand of Doom ends up whipping. With a quick wall break, this is really close to a kill. Yes, indeed. Even without the clean hit property delivering extra damage. I mean, that super deals quite a bit of damage already, even without it. And I guess it's mostly the sort of the upfront damage. Oh, again, the Master's Hammer hop over. The timing has to be perfect, though, in order for you to reach the opponent. Here we go, 1, 2, 3. Ooh, a little too late, or maybe the opponent was a little too high up in the air. This RTL should reach the corner and break the wall. The Kisk family specialty. big juggle, misses with the second Mappa Hunch. Now routing into the... Oh, misses it though! That could have been really close to a kill. Now we have 50 on Siv's side. Finds the close slash, baits the burst. The burst never comes though. Zormar. There we go. Goes for a very delayed gold burst, which is going to be a successful win here on this round. I mean, kind of had to. There was no choice for Zormar. I absolutely had to go for it. But Siv definitely has something to show for that round. Now the burst is going to be gone on this one. Good out of there, switch positions. Let's see. Oh, this time Siv does bait it. The delayed DP that Zormar has been playing on those forward advances has been very successful consistently so far. Good routing. A good read on Zormar as well. Predicting that something of the nature might be coming too heavy, whiffing and getting punished into big combo and a wall break. Both players really high on resources. Colliding. Ooh, able to block in time against this Sacred Edge. Burst is there once again. It was a good try. However, Zormar's timing is really good once again. Oh, hit the button, unfortunately. Might have actually tried to take the throw. It's one of the most common kind of responses there. When you use RC and your opponent is above you, it's like there's basically nothing that the opponent can do about like an air throw attempt other than take the throw. But that time Zormar just went for the big too heavy instead. Alright, we got the combo, we got the wall break, and we got the blast frames as well. Once again, Zormar is successfully blocking the cross-up. It feels like it's impossible to open Zormar with left-rights. I mean, has Siv landed even one so far in this set? It's more like the persistent strike throws and the pressure resets have been what sort of gets the job done for Siv. Ooh, I spoke too soon. Here it is. From the Guard Crush RC, able to finally mix up the left-right. Once again, last burst opportunity for Zormar. Siv counters it with one of her own. OTG, that's not gonna be a clean hit. And minus on maybe even punishable there. But Zormar wasn't quite able to successfully mash out of there. There was no follow-through from that 2P. And Siv immediately transitioning into Mappa Hunch to take the round. Go successfully trying to push the opponent as far away as possible. Aligning with the jump. Ooh, and the backdash shimmy, immediate burst from Siv. Knows how damaging that is gonna be. Even against low damage characters like, quotation low damage characters like Kai. I mean, Kai's damage condition is kinda to have the opponent in the corner for the most part. As long as you do, the damage is just gonna pile up pretty fast. Block there. Zormar was once again in a dangerous position there against the close slash anti-air of Slayers. And the DP actually able to pick it up. Wow. Rarely see combos like that. Side switch once again. Zormar blocks both the cross-ups. But not the subsequent Master's Hammer. I mean, it makes sense, like, usually against Master's Hammer, you don't want to block in the first place, so you're going to have some sort of counterplay, like active counterplay playing on the background. That's a close slash. That's a lot of damage. Wild Assault in order to take away from the burst bar. That was a really good idea for Siv. I think routed into the the Wild Assault in order to stall the burst of Zormar. It's just a couple of frames. And then give them the FGC fist. Alright, successful start to the round here for Zormar. Jump DD was that a miss input on the air throw? That kind of looks like a perfect angle, a trajectory. Go for an air throw. Got to go for the tap dust once again. I think that was charged as well. Testing Civ. Ooh, but a clean air throw. DP on the wake up. Pushing Civ in the corner, able to get a mash out of there. Both players going back and forth. The burst bait, Civ not quite ready to go for it just yet. Now the hand has been revealed. There might be another burst bait, or maybe not. If you just find the throw, you can't burst against those. Side by side, they advance towards the championship rounds of this Guilty Gear Strive set, the second last of the evening. Both players need 2 more. Wow, that's a lot of that's a chess match in the air. I'm surprised that both of these players can sort of be patient enough to move for such extended periods of times without pressing any buttons. Again, look at that. Neither player, they're just jumping in and not hitting a button. Ooh, the pressure not over yet at that range. Even if direct blade itself is quite minus, unless you jump out of the pressure. The stun dipper might clip you on the ground. Ooh, speaking of getting clipped. Another close slash anti-air. This is gonna be big, even with a simple combo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into super. Most of Zormar's life gonna be gone. The P dandy step bait, maybe looking for a I've seen Zormar DPing out of this position many times already. I think Civ has started to pay attention to that and doing like empty B map, B map dandy steps. That's the one. Oh, just a couple of pixels away. Missing that far slash on Slayer. Zormar finds the hit, and now he's working it from corner to corner. Combo still going. Drops them there. Last bit of Civ's meter just gets thrown on the overhead, and the 5 heavy OTG secures Zormar a lead in the most important points of the set. Now Civ has to do 2 in a row. I see you, Zormar. I see you attempting that fully charged 5D on round start. Trying to inch forward with that far slash. However, finally gets into a spacing where the fireball is just a little bit too slow to catch the horizontal movement of Slayers. Bit forward, try to press. I think that was 5P again. However, Zormar was already coming up from a perfect angle. And the chip damage of the Mappa Hunch. Nice backdash out of the jump in. There are many different ways that you can deal with aerial movement, and it doesn't have to be 6P every single time. Or even a 5P. Also plus frames. Once again, blocks the cross up. Zormar trying to find a way in with a fuzzy mash. 2P goes into the wrong direction! And Civ! Big, fast 2 rounds back to back. Evens it out 6-6. This is the grind that is Slayer. Exactly this kind of gameplay. You're always threatening with left rights, but then again, it might not be a dandy cross up. It might be a Master's Hammer instead, or a handful of other things that you will have to look for and potentially have different counterplay for. Slayer is sort of a mental stack machine like that, but now Zormar has had a very successful start for the round. Yeah, there's the air throw, the most classic response. On the other hand, like if you don't try to tech, it's just a throw that you're taking there. At least you're not eating counter hits. Another great 5B anti-air again. burst. Zormar, great delay there. Does get their burst in the end. That's a close slash anti-air, I think. That should be a kill, unless the combo drops. The 6P prevents Civ getting out of the corner. Locked to the horizontal movement trajectory is both a blessing and a curse. Runs straight into the big fist far slash of Slayers. Good chase there with the B, Mappa Hunch. Chasing the opponent down, making sure that we have the advantage here with the burst. Sorry, with the RC. Great neutral jump angle. Civ has a lot of life to spend still. Tries to ram herself into the fireball. However, the timing and the spacing is perfect for Zormar again. Missing a 5D. I wonder what that was about. But Civ ain't gonna let it fly. Drops the combo. Lots of meter for Zormar. And trying to jump out, gets clipped by the close slash. Starting with a bang. Slide on the round start, being sure that there is something at the end of the rainbow. Civ inching herself forward, drops the combo. Unfortunately, I guess you can't really get a combo there on the normal Master's Hammer anymore. Ooh, great backdash out of there. That's a big starter. Doubling it up into Master's Hammer, cross up, all the kind of stuff. Zormar dash, jump in. Looking for one big combo potentially to bring it back. But one touch, is that the touch? That might be the touch. Power bunker is all you need. Route into a great combo. Civ takes it over Zormar in a nail biter of a match. You could definitely see the scramble there at the end, and Slayer is one of the best characters in the game for introducing those scrambles. You can do a lot of grimy shit that just wants the opponent say, man, just let me out of there. Get me out of there. I don't want to RPS against that. Sort of coaxing your opponent to try to just backdash or jump out of there and just saying, I don't want to engage with it. But Slayer is so good at forcing the engagements. So much so that it can turn into a slugfest like that. And guess which character is better in those scramble situations usually. Spoiler, it's usually gonna be Slayer. Alright, we got last one to go. XarioS on that Sin versus Nexus Chip. If memory serves correctly, this is this XarioS' second or third game on Bounty Hunters? It is second, yes. Another player that we've seen entering the roster of Bounty Hunters recently. Now the matchup is a little tricky for Sin, especially since you have to kind of modify your usual game plan against the character who is as fast as Chip is. You know, the general kind of adjustment when you're playing against Chip, as pretty much any character, is that you, instead of using your best buttons that are usually like S or heavy ones, you kind of downgrade them to a button that is faster on recovery. So like a lot of characters tend to use K buttons more to play slightly less committal neutral against this character. But Sin doesn't necessarily, like, there's a lot of power level in Sin's special moves as well as his S buttons. So foregoing using those buttons is it's a little bit of a blow to how you would usually want to play neutral. But the good news is, once you manage to find a hit on Chip, and you do have a lot of good buttons that Chip can theoretically run into. And if he's not running into your buttons, you can use stuff like deep dash elk hunt to try to chase, like way further, way faster than many other characters could try to chase Chip if he's trying to just backdash on the ground. All right, the French crew ready to cheer for for the chip hero. Sorry, not the chip hero, for the Sin hero. A region that produces so many talented Sin players. And put the names as well. This should be a sufficient setup. Okay.
Mankind knew that. Duel 1. Let's rock.
I have to spend a very early burst here. Like we said, like one touch from Sin, even though Sin not necessarily like the biggest damage machine of Guilty Gear Strive, the damage is always super consistent for many of the hits. So like you can easily get 2 touched for like really trivial hits from this character. There's the chase down. Next was trying to walk backwards. XarioS engages with that elk hunt, completely nullifying the walk back or the backdashing. Oh, and baits the burst as well. It's a good opportunity to, or like a good occasion to gamble with a DP on a character like Chip if you're already at 0 health. Here comes the strike throw. Missed the setup there, unfortunately. Was probably trying to go for a safe jump, it looked like. Back to the left corner. Oh, we're actually gonna convert that. Misses the hit though. There's a big chance for Nex. Now here comes the mix-up machine DP into the wrong direction. With the use of this new fancy tool, Tightrope, you can do all sorts of fancy damage. It's like, it's such a good, oh, and another burst bait. Wow, that's what, burst bait on both of the rounds here for XarioS. That's a very strong RPS start for this set. Already saying that I can read you like an open book. I know what you want to do. I know when you want to burst there. And reading one burst can be an immediate end to the round. For sure, when you're comboing a soft target like Chip. Oh, but that's big on recovery. Gotta be careful with those special moves. Beak Driver especially is like one of the most whiff punishable moves for a fast character like Chip. DP out of there, this time working out good. Have the meter to pile on top of the Rekka pressure as well. And OTG is gonna be enough. All right, Nex, slowly warming up. Ooh, got clipped by the second hit of the 2S, and that still goes into a full combo if you're ready to convert it properly. Too heavy once again. Looming, missing the clean hit. It's okay. Interception there on the exit attempt from Nex. Ooh, very delayed jump D. You don't get to see that tool very often. It's generally used in some air combos and maybe in some shenanigans. But those shenanigans are actually like some of the coolest stuff from Sin. They do say that Sin as a character doesn't have that much sauce. Oh, is that the punish route? I think it's the punish route. Dropped unfortunately at the end there. And a good confirm 1-2 into Kara Super. This could be a comeback attempt. Have to contend potentially with the reversal DP. We do have save jumps there on the side of Chip. Ooh, big counter hit. Immediate burst. Next has 100. Clips whatever recovery that was. That should be a done deal. Zanzeroga. Big damage. Could have even burst. RC there at the end, I think. Can you RC the end of Zanzeroga? I'm pretty sure that you can, right? It doesn't force a knockdown. I mean, it does, but not like that. Doesn't prevent you from comboing. Ooh, caught them with the too heavy again. The delayed too heavy has been one of the more common tools that XarioS has caught next so far. Ooh, big driver counter hit. A little bit of a combo miss, but we're still pressuring. 6K. From that distance, not quite safe to the Chip DP. It is still a very good DP. Lacks a little bit on the horizontal reach department, but starts up in 9 frames, which is probably one of the most important feature of a DP if you want to have a DP in this game. Yo, hit it with a 2S. With the successful air-to-air jump heavy. Ooh, that looked a little dangerous there, dropping on the second Rekka. Ooh, counter hit 2D into. Only routed, unfortunately, into the special move, so not able to end in time. Sees the far slash, that's a slow button coming in. We're poking that with a 2K into tightrope conversion to the others. Oh, that looked kind of... I blinked and I thought that next was on the other side, but actually landed on the front side there. It's the power of the tightrope. Ooh, poking with a 2D, that's a decent starter. Look at that, big damage. Missing with the ender there. I think that might have been, because 2D is not a very common starter, that might have been a slight awkward route to finish normally. Still working with the corner, plus frames from this beak 2. From what angle? Baits the DP, let's see the punish. Ooh, but trying to bait the burst, however, XarioS, there is no reason to burst just yet. That's so smart. Like a panic reaction from most players would be to burst immediately, but XarioS like, nah, I have so much life to spend that I can check the first couple of hits from next. Are you actually doing your combo, or are you bursting? Sorry, are you baiting? The successful backdash shimmy there into a throw, into more pressure, and that should be no with the Japanese guts. Surviving the last hit. Counter poking with the 5 heavy, finds the hit. 6K finds a hit too. Where are we? Are we there? Did we disconnect? Yeah, there seems to be some sort of problem going on here, because next, that was a very uncharacteristic stop from the ninja. I guess we're back in business. Slightly unfortunate. Let's see it again. Counter hit 6 heavy into tightrope. Ooh, that combo hurts so much. Basically equivalent damage to what Sin can dish out if you do take that big counter hit 6 heavy. And that should be a kill. And smartly, XarioS saving the burst for the next decisive round here. Both players with the full burst bar. Was a little bit too close and misses the timing on the meaty. Next getting a big value back throw. For the whiff punish with using that 5 heavy. Ooh, that's surely gonna be a whiff punish, yeah. The recovery on that 2 heavy on Sin is just unbearable. Oh, finding a counter, finding a beak driver hit. I think it was a pretty decent burst there, forcing the opponent to, like, you know that Sin is gonna end that combo with tire and barrel. So if you have a timing down, you can just take the combo and burst the ender instead. Yeah, I guess the tightrope. And next, hanging on to the footsteps of XarioS. Neither player getting a decisive advantage here on the early games of the set. There we go. If I recall correctly, XarioS really likes that airtight guard crush 2 stamina burn, which has been working out really well in his previous, or was working really well in his previous set. Especially when you're working against somebody who has counterplay queued up. Oh, with the combo route. That is rather new. A lot of Sin players still not, are using some other route or just haven't sort of acquired that particular route just yet. Right, XarioS completely full on the stamina, drifting forward, catching that was a back drift attempt from Max, I think. Tension has been spent for XarioS, whereas Nex still has some in the tank. Drops the combo to the other side, 2 PP mash. And follows it up with a 2 heavy. No interruption attempts from the opponent. We'll happily take those. Oh, that's a very well-placed instant air dash over the Beak Driver. Beak Driver can often act as a little bit of a fireball function, so you can just do what they do in fighting games usually and jump or air dash over it, if you will. Oh, there's so much gas in the tank. Into successful Zanzeiroga for the maximum amount of damage. Again, this foregoes the wall break, but technically deals more than whatever you could deal with any of your or with your other super. So if it kills, it's optimal. Ooh, was that a miss input there? Routing into a gold burst. Well placed 5 heavy. However, the second Rekka ends up missing. Or was it the first one? Successful bait here. That should be a kill. Yes, indeed. Next, with that great read on the DP, moves on to the leading position for now. But the momentum can end up switching so fast.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
With the neutral trade, both players disengaging the 2S once again. A great button from Sin Kisk if you're expecting that the opponent will run at you. And of course, there is a lot of incentive for Chip to run at you because like his best buttons are technically his K buttons, like here. Especially that 5K. You would like nothing more than to be able to dash in and start your stagger pressure with the Ks. So if you think that's gonna happen, if you think there's no bait, no FD breaking, no stopping outside of your range, then 2S, really great button for Zen. I think the Beak Driver a little bit too far. Ooh. I'm always holding my breath when I see a Beak Driver miss against Chip. All right. Ooh, nice with the Kara cancel, 1 hit. Yeah, that was basically the optimal thing to do here. The most stamina and tension efficient way to get the wall break. Sees the backdash and attacks it with a far slash. Good recognition there on the frame of the after the RC slowdown. Well, that's a counter hit, but yeah, I guess you can. No, not on the first hit. If you do get the counter hit on the elk, then you gotta not dial into the second part if you want to get a conversion. Oh, the patience and the RC waits it out, and surely that's gonna be a kill. No, the wall gives away too early, so Nex is still alive. Straight forward, sees the backdash. That's one of the slowest backdashes in the game, so we can definitely chase that. And again, the stamina burn, the 2 stamina burn into the airtight 2K, catching the opponent. One of the favorite tools of XarioS. Ooh, cut them with the left, right. And then instant air dash against the Beak Driver. It is quite the commitment. But I mean, so far XarioS has gotten some of the, like, has been pretty consistent with those Beak Drivers, all things considered. This time chooses the burn, the RC for the combo. Yeah, you would have to, like, in the corner, you would have to spend the second stamina as well, unless you are in the perfect bouncing distance. Sees the backdash round start again, and with the slowdown frames, chases it accordingly. Ooh, that's so tricky coming out of the tightrope like that into a meaty 2K. Both players going for the throw. And now the 2K again, the 2K! It never fails! It never fails to work! Basically what it asks your opponent to do is shut up, sit down, and low block. There is no other way out of it. There is no auto guard either because it is guard crush. Ooh, great backdash against the overhead this time. to the other side. Ooh, but YRC puts XarioS in a great position, dropping the combo before the wall breaks. I think that's a great idea there. Was attempting to sort of put Nex in a position where next hit would kill, because he didn't have the meter for the super yet. Once again, the leading position has shifted. Let's see for high wall. Whoa, well, was definitely trying to DP there, but got hoof stomp for his troubles. XarioS. The clip flare on the far slash, wasn't able to confirm it. And here comes Nex with the 5 heavy. Those counter hits leading it. Oh! We go from a corner to the other corner. Nice chase, going straight for the elk hunt, which, yeah, it is quite powerful against people walking backwards at round start, because often when you're walking back, you're not looking at the low block after. But really good at chasing backdashes as well. Now XarioS has full stick of butter. Nex's next objective is to attempt to prevent XarioS from using it, but you cannot contain reversal RTL if that's... Oh, unless you cross up. You can cross up the input for sure. Finds a normal hit from 6 heavy, that's kind of hard to convert. And now, what are we cooking? We have to take the wall break with a soft knockdown. XarioS with the 75. Finds a 6p. No conversion, was probably thinking Nex was gonna burst, but Nex is not ready to burst just yet. Especially since he is sitting on a round lead. This is a very common position where, like, you have to make difficult decisions whether, like, you burst bait or not. Often enough, if the opponent has their head in the game and they are the person, they are the player with the round lead, they might just never burst whatsoever. They'll just tank the loss and give you a lot of opportunities to do like hard drop combos in order to try to bait the burst, which is never gonna come. Finds a 6 speed, doesn't quite combo into Elkhunt, unfortunately. Oh, gets it this time, or I think that was a reset there. So difficult to anti-air that jump 2k. I think due to like how the hitboxes of Sin 6p works, like Sin would usually like to just run out of the situation and try to not contend with the jump 2k at all, if you can help it. Here come the mix-ups. This time the backside. Ooh, hopped off the tightrope really early in order to try to bait the burst as well. Didn't quite get it. But Nex with a lot of momentum here. XarioS would like nothing more than get an opportunity to play. Even better to pressure the ninja. But there is no pressure here. It's Nex. Well, this has been such a roller coaster ride. First it was Nex who had the lead, then it was XarioS who had the lead. Now it's Nex again with a double, bringing it to 5-4. Very respectful here. I think another stare down for the burst. Ooh, the double jump putting himself back into the corner here, Nex. Finding hit, tightrope enabled. Good interruption there on the 2p, but that was a rather even trade. YRC before the overhead breaker goes online. The advantage definitely on Nex's court, has more live burst and tension to work with. The reversal DP works out finally. Both players have been relatively unsuccessful with those reversal DPs, all things considered. And this should be a nail in the coffin. RC to secure the last combo. Starting with the far slash, a little late there on the wild assault, unfortunately. No hit confirm. It's actually super difficult if you're actually hit confirming that, so that you don't use it on block but only use it on hit. You have to be like absolute monster. Oh, and again, I think that was 2 stamina burner once again. 2k into Quick Tyrant Barrel. Yeah, smartly gets out of it. I love that play. To not, you know, play a game of chicken with an airborne chip. Ooh, good trade there on the backhand. Ooh, but gets the backdash. Good cancel into Beak Driver. And a successful juggle no matter what state the opponent is in. XarioS potential. Ooh, deep dash 6B. Calls out. I think that was a 5 heavy. So Nex has been using the 5 heavy a lot as a go-to poke of the choice, which is vulnerable to that 6B. You would have to poke with tools like, I mean, 2S, 2K, 2D, if you wanted to call out the 6B in these neutral scrambles. Yet there's the 2K. Was trying to go for it this time. Nex, empowered by the danger text, is gonna take the burst as well. No, ooh, okay, 6 heavy. Still lands on block and puts XarioS basically on a no escape chip damage situation. I think XarioS didn't have a lot of meter left there to spend. Like maybe had enough FD to survive like 1 or 2 hits, but definitely not a good position anymore. First, quotations decisive lead here. Baits the DP as well. Nex is on fire. Has activated at the basically the most important moment of the set that you could have. Let's see if XarioS can still bring the momentum back. 5 heavy, runs straight into it. Waits for the burst. The burst never comes. Smart stuff from XarioS. Goes for it this time. But again, the 5 heavy is there, waiting, looming in the horizon with its active frames. I think it's active, right? I think it's pretty active. Ooh, just 1 hit of 2 heavy into an overhead. Didn't have enough stamina to convert it though. Doesn't matter. We're flowing, we're flying, we're striking, and now attempting to come back from this 6-4 position. That's a good position shift. Elk hunting under the flying ninja. And a big conversion there on the close slash. Definitely worth a burst. Oh, here we go. We have resources. Misses the combo. Somehow secures it. Scramble for the hit. We do find it, but no stamina. This is so unfortunate. Now Nex gets DP'd in the corner. Only plus, what is it, +5 or something on that DP1. Throw doesn't do too much damage, trying to jump out. Jump 2K. Oh, the accursed jump 2K. And here comes the mix-up, still getting the burst. He has to go for it. Does go for it. Trying to end it right here. And finds the hit. Slows down the frames. Nex misses with the bar slash. And XarioS has a successful hit. And a successful in. Still back into this game. 2 more to go for Team France. Pressure very early in the round, forcing XarioS to go for that burst out of the corner. Doesn't get out of there though. It's never guaranteed against a fast character like Chip. And now we're basically in Chip's most common win condition. Approaches on the ground, DP. Better do something. Ooh, cut and backdashing again. Shifting sides, we have, yeah, I kind of like that. There was gonna be a lot of, there was gonna be that guess between the high and the low Rekka, and even if you guess right on the high Rekka, there's gonna be an RC. Drops XarioS in the corner. We find a successful hit. The throw is unfortunately not the right read that time, for Nex is escaping with a backdash. Set point Nex once again, starting with a 1-2, then with the elk hunt, knocking them down. We can get a wall break here. And of course, we're gonna oblige. Has to stall a little bit for stamina here, or alternatively, as soon as you get hit, spend that tension in order to make the combo happen. No option select on the throw. 100 meter, RTL could still be a successful reversal here, even after this hard knockdown wall break. There's basically nothing that Nex can do about it if it does come out. Goes in with a safe jump instead. Ooh, what a counter poke. FRC trick into pressure position, go for the 2K. This time, Nex did initially block it, but in the follow-up situation, got hit by the, I think the second hit, the 2D. Ooh, DP's into the right direction. XarioS still has a lot of chips here. Burst is one of them. Ooh, unless it gets baited. This is big. Yep, Bunky Mesa is the right option here because the other super wouldn't have killed. Get the wall break. Guess for your life. What's it gonna be? YRC, get off me. Next, I'm not sure what they were trying to do. Getting it thrown out of it. DP is successful. Plus frames. Oh, but they're waiting. They're waiting for the DP from Nex. Nex just does the unthinkable. RPSs, dashes forward and throws. Are you kidding me? They had the guts. They had the guts to just dash in there. Must have been reading the the DP bait. And as XarioS is awaiting for the incoming DP, it never comes. The throw comes instead. What a madness play from Nex to end the set 7-5. But I mean that kind of daredevil play is sort of it's kind of a respect play in a sense. You're basically saying, I think you have the patience to sit still as I, on my own wake up, on my own get up, will just run at you and take it all home. Wow. Overall a great set still. Such a back and forth. But Nex was able to get enough wind under his sails at the very, very, very best moment there. After the 4-4. And so it goes. Whew. What an evening. That will be all of the matches for tonight. But if you're hungering for more Guilty Gear Strive show matches, fear not, or actually do fear, because we are actually gonna take a break next week. So Bounty Hunters ain't gonna be happening next Sunday. I'm gonna be concentrating more on the offline tournament happening in Finland, Reinstall 3. Especially because oh yeah, now I remember, because the Strive top 8 is exactly colliding with Bounty Hunter's timing. So we're gonna do the one thing that makes Bounty Hunters not happen. It's when Finland has the offline tournaments. But we're gonna come back. We're gonna return on the 30th of this month, 30th of November. I could already put up the signups for that event, maybe. We'll see what we're gonna do. Either way, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed casting it. And we're gonna return back into the business in 2 weeks, Sunday, 5 p.m. CET. See you then. For now, it's good night from me. Stay safe, play Guilty Gear, and bye-bye.